Okay, here we go. I hope I'm loud enough. I really wasn't loud enough last week. I pretty much know I wasn't. But only hopefully this week I'm a little more louder. I got everything set a little louder for everyone. And hopefully, let me see. I might have a little bit of background noise coming in, but I think I'm good. Yeah, so how is everybody tonight? We went out and we did some sky watching on Saturday night, and then Sunday I didn't really get to bed until like 4 in the morning. And it was it was a fun night. I mean, there wasn't a lot of us out there. There's like 4 of us out there. And it was interesting, great conversations and stories and stuff like that. Hi, Connie and Bethany and Ruth Ann. How y'all? And Dayanara. I hope I said that right. I always get that wrong. I'm going to call you D. I don't know if I said that right. Dayanara? Dayanara? Oh, well. Hey, Adolf. Yeah, Adolf was out there, and it was fun, man. The only one thing happened, though, uh, you know, that I could say was kind of weird. Uh, when we first got there, it was like sunset, and it was a beautiful sunset. I mean, the clouds were absolutely gorgeous, and it was calm. The sky was, cloudless. There was this pond with some Canadian geese on it and a couple of ducks, and it was just glass. And as we were walking by, I could see what I thought was Venus, and I've been looking at Venus every night. I skywatch all the time, so I thought it was Venus. And I'm looking at that, and as we're walking by, I could see the reflection of this planet and the clouds and everything in the pond, and I'm like, oh, what a great shot, right? So I went and grabbed my camera and I ran back to that spot. Well, not ran, but hobbled back over to this spot, it was only like 50 feet, something like that. The planet was gone. The clouds were there, the geese were there, the ducks were there, the pond was beautiful, the reflection of the clouds was in the water, but there was no planet. I took pictures anyway, or video of it, but there was no planet at all. I didn't know what happened to it. And it was like planets don't move that fast. And I even, as we were walking up, I pointed it out to Albert. I'm like, Albert, look, that's so beautiful. He goes, yeah, that would make a great shot. And then I'm yelling at him, Albert, the planet's gone, and he was like, whoa. Other than that, it was really uneventful, except for the wind picked up. And pretty soon it was blowing over everybody. You set something down, and you were, having to chase everything. And I'm sorry I'm late. I said 7-ish, but only William Stillings gave me a call. We've been talking like almost every night for a couple hours, and he didn't know that I was going to do a show, and he gave me a call, and he was telling me how he was on Jeffrey's show, and he was asked, I told him, yeah, man, I was kind of listening to it as I was setting all this up, and he was asking me, man, did I screw up or anything? Like, no, you sounded great. I think he did a great job. He's very knowledgeable. He's a great guy. I mean, I absolutely love William Stillings. He's my brother, and we talk all the time, and love that guy. I love you, William. If you're listening, buddy, it was good talking to you. I'll talk to you soon. But that's why I'm late. That, and I was kind of listening to him on Jeffrey's show, and I didn't even realize it. I just was checking Facebook I had like 20 minutes to wait before 7 and turned on my Facebook, and there's Jeffrey and William Stillings. I'm like, yay, cool. And I set it down, and in this room, there's like an echo, so I could hear it real good as I was setting everything up. So how is everybody, man? I mean, I wish I had more to report on the Skywatch thing. We're going to do it again. Okay, that's not the end of it. We were talking about a lot of people, some of the people that came up weren't prepared, like they didn't bring a chair, and I had everything, man, coffee and water and a chair and a shirt in case it got cool. You know, I mean, I was prepared. But some of them, they haven't done this before, so they had no idea that the weather can change, you know, and the wind can kick up. And the only thing that I didn't have, and I can't find it, is my night vision camera or night shot camera. I can't find it, and everything's packed in boxes, so I'll have to look for that. But we want to do it again this coming weekend. And then Memorial Weekend, I'm not going to be here. That I am going to go on the Memorial Day trip. I'm looking forward to it. Something always happens. This will be like 10 years. This will be our 10-year anniversary for going up there to the spot. And I'm kind of looking forward to it. I know something's going to happen. It happens every year. And mostly because they have the gate shut all winter, and you know, nobody goes in or out for the whole winter, and then they open the gate and we're the first people in for the season, and usually things are pretty wild, you know. It gets wild. No, I'm gonna go. I think I'm getting picked up by Elijah, or no. Oh man, Elijah. I think so. I'm getting the name mixed up. Jeff calls it one name, and I know that's not his real name. But really good friend, and I know he's going to go. There's not many going. I think Keith the farmer's going, and then the regulars. So probably only 2 extra people besides the crew that goes usually. But I will be with at the camp with Gonzo. I talked to everybody, and looks like that's what they want to do. And they, you know, I talked about like camping somewhere else and stuff, and it's like not a go. You know, everybody wants to be the crew, and I agree. You know, in fact, that feels right. Plus, I've been getting calls like crazy and emails about different sightings and anomalies and things like that, and talking to a lot of people this week and last week, and earlier today, actually last week, somebody called me, and I've been so busy that I haven't been able, like when I do get to my phone, it's dead, you know, so I have to put it on the charger, and then by the time it's charged, I fell asleep, and then I get up in the morning and I turn it on, and then I get all busy, and by the time, you know, the afternoon rolls around, it's dead again. You know, it's like this never-ending thing where I can't keep up with my phone, and I'm not a good phone person anyways, you know, and I'm not real good about checking my Facebook sometimes too. We're doing a lot of work in the house here. We're now preparing for carpet. We're just waiting only on the carpet guy, so everything's calmed down while we wait for that. So today was kind of like it was so nice. It was a lazy day. I didn't have a lot on my plate to do, and I thought, man, I need to bring everybody up to speed and what's going on, and then I caught up with some of the phone calls. Like I talked to William Stillings last night until late, and till about 11, and I was using my home phone instead of my cell phone, and it actually died on me while we were talking. But then I caught up with the people that have been sending reports to me, wanting to talk to me about things. And one of them is about a white Bigfoot. And if you guys know me, I have like this little bit of a obsession with the white Bigfoot. Yeah, if you want to send something to me, like the best bet is go through my email. I'll put my email, because I don't care who emails me, but I can't put my address up, like that. But through the email, I'll email you my address and stuff like that. So that's my email right there. If anybody wants to get in touch with me, to where you want my personal phone number and my address and stuff like that, go through my email, and more than happy to correspond with you guys and talk to you guys on the phone and stuff like that. Only I have to warn you about the phone thing. I'm not. You could ask Ghost Wolf. I am not the guy walking around like this with my phone all the time. Or like this. I am not that guy, right? I mean, I set my phone down, and half the time when I put it in my pocket, it turns on an app like Facebook or something like that, and then it goes to the black screen, right? And then it'll be dead within hours because it has everything running. So like right now, I just checked this. I messaged Ghost Wolf earlier and said, "Hey man, like a good time to catch me. I'm actually got my phone and on and everything, but it was only 19%, right? So I was looking at it right now; it's like 7%, but I was able to at least text with him a little bit, and I would have talked to him too, but but yeah, but I'm pretty good at getting back with the emails. I check it I try to do it every day, but if not every day, at least every other day or so, I'll check my emails. I get a lot of them, but only Gmail just got easier. They made a new Gmail, so now it splits it all up, right? So now when you like, you could put like personal in a whole other category. So I'm not missing everybody's emails as much as I was, because it used to bunch everything up, all the ads and all the ones from the bank and Facebook and all this stuff all went in one like email box. Well, now you can split up your emails, social, personal, stuff like that, and I like it because now I can hit the personal one, and all you guys' emails come up, and only your emails, not all the stuff that I shop for, PayPal, eBay, all that stuff. That's not all in it, and I'm enjoying that. So I could get to the emails really good. You could use that email. I will get back with you, and I don't mind sharing my phone number and stuff like that. In fact, I don't mind sharing this phone number. This one's the one if you want to call in. Let's see, 559. The only thing is, this phone number I don't answer only on show days. Okay, so this phone is only for doing this. You could call that number anytime you want, but I will not answer it. I don't even check the voicemails on them, because I put it on YouTube like this. It gets a lot of calls, and I don't have time to go through all the email or all the things that I have to go through to check. I have a life kind of outside of this, that I do. And I'm not sure how many real Bigfoots there are, like what types. I heard there's 4. That's what I heard. But I don't know for sure. How's it going, Ronald and Brown Dwarf and Connie? Ghost Wolf, he's my bud. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, so I got called about a white Bigfoot. And oh man, I can't remember the actual state. It's on the East Coast. I think it's Virginia. I think. I'm not real sure. I just talked to him today. I'm gonna get more information as it, but only I wanted to tell everybody about it a little bit. This guy's kid and some of his friends, they were out late, like 2 in the morning, and they were at I guess it's a state park over there, and he said the name and I can't remember it. And they were playing a game. I can't remember what he called the game either, but the game was they put a blindfold on you, and a driver drives you to a place in the woods, and it's not your driver. Okay, like there's two different crews. Okay, and so the opposing teams get in the opposing driver's car. They blindfold themselves, and then the opposing team driver drives you to a place where you don't know where you are, and then lets you out of the car, and then you could take the blindfold off. And then when you figure out where you are, you call your driver and then tell them where you are, and they come and pick you up. The one that picks you up first wins. Okay, the first team that was able to get to their team and pick them up wins. And that's the game they were playing. And it was like 2 in the morning, and he said he was in a wooded area, and they were walking along. They had figured out where they were. They called their driver, and they were just walking along towards which way their driver would come from, to pick them up. And his son said what he saw was a polar bear. Okay, a polar bear on all 4s. And one guy was totally oblivious, didn't see anything, but the guy in front of him seen it first. And what got the kid's attention was he seen it and then turned and bumped into him as he ran the other way, yelling, that there was something out there, And so when he looked to see what this kid was running from, he seen a polar bear. And he said immediately this polar bear started running at him on all 4s. Okay, on all 4s. And the one that was oblivious, he still didn't see anything. At least doesn't say he saw anything. But they all ran, And at some point, one of them turned and looked behind him to see if, the polar bear was still chasing him. And it was gone. But they were scared. And they don't play that game out there anymore either. That, taught them a lesson, freaked them out real bad. So we know there's no polar bears out there. But so his dad asked him, details on the polar bear. How big was the polar bear? And they estimated, the two of the boys that would talk about it estimated that the shoulder height of the polar bear was about 4 feet off the ground. So if the polar bear stood up, it would be really the size of a polar bear, you know what I mean? Huge. And that would make it, 8 feet tall or better. And so his dad was really intrigued with this. He's the one that called me too. And he was really intrigued about this polar bear, and he knew that it had to be a Bigfoot. And he went on BFRO, and sure enough, in that park where they were, there's Bigfoot reports. And then, he was like, wow, they saw a Bigfoot. And then, he had been listening to me for a little bit, and he wondered, wow, is there any white Bigfoot reports over there? So he Googled that, and sure enough, there was like 4 or 5 white Bigfoot reports. And if you guys remember, I think it's M.K. Davis, he did a white Bigfoot one where the Bigfoot was on all fours and runs into the picture behind a big cow, right? I mean, it's like in the background of the cow's in the foreground, and this thing's as big as a cow, and it's in the background, and it was running on all fours, and all of a sudden it stopped and stood up and started walking on 2 legs. So I mean, and it might even be in the same place, I don't know, So we know the Bigfoots run on all fours, and they thought they saw a polar bear. We know there's no polar bears on the East Coast, at least not down, South Carolina, Virginia. There's no polar bears, not unless they escaped from the zoo. And if it really was a polar bear, it would have chased them down and ate them. Polar bears are ferocious. But that's the story that I got. That's one of them that I've gotten this week. I have several I'm working on, really. I have some really cool ones. I just haven't had time to write everything down properly and get all the geographic stuff right and the dates and times and all that stuff. I will, though. I've been really, really busy. I really apologize, but I'm getting my bedroom. I'm getting my bedroom done. I'm happy about that. I can hardly wait, Man, wouldn't it, Brown Dwarf, like, see one coming at you? Can you imagine how fast they could run on all fours? Holy cow. I seen what they could do on 2 feet. But I bet you I bet when they get down on all fours and start coming at you, I bet that's like even more scarier than on 2 feet, really. You see something really bearing down on you, oh my God, Because I'm scared just with one running on 2 feet. I wouldn't even know what to think, Let's see. Diet Dr. Pepper. I haven't drank soda in so long. I like coffee, though. Boy, I'm a coffee drinker. Coffee sometimes gives me palpitations, but I don't drink enough of it to, you know what I mean? Like, I have a limit, like 1 or 2 cups. When I get to the bottom of the second cup, then I'm pushing it. Yeah, I think it is something like that. I think it is, Vince. I think it is. Yeah, so like now there's a whole bunch of people here. I'll tell everyone one more time about our Skywatch. There was about 4 or 5 of us. There wasn't really much that happened. It was a beautiful night, though. At first, it was when we arrived, it was a beautiful sunset. I'm not kidding. It was probably one of the best sunsets I've seen in a long time. It was just absolutely gorgeous. And as we parked down below the levee, and then you got to hike up to the top of the levee. They put a gate. We used to be able to drive up there, but they put a gate, and you can't drive to the top of the levee now. You have to, hike up, and it's not that far. But as you crest the top, there was a pond down in the levee's like the high part. So in the floodplain, there was a pond with some snow geese about 3 or 4 snow geese and 2 geese or ducks. And as I was walking by it, and I was just looking at the sunset, and I was like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. And the water was calm. It just looked like glass. And I could see the sunset reflecting on the pond, and everything I could see in the sky, I could see in the pond, and it was beautiful. And there was this star, so because the sky was already getting pretty dark. It was only going to be like 5 minutes. It was going to be dark, right? 5 or 10 minutes. And there was a star, and I thought it was Venus, because every night Venus has been out here, and I've been looking at it for, I don't know, a week now, and in that direction. And I mean, it's like the brightest thing in the sky right now, and it looked just like that. I thought it was Venus, and I could see it reflecting in the pond, and I was walking with Albert, and I told Albert, hey man, look at that, it's so beautiful that you could see the planet reflecting in, and I go, that it would be a great shot. And he's like, yeah. And I hobbled over and put my chair down and set it up, and then got my camera out, no more than 3 minutes, and then walked the 50 feet back to the pond, and it was starting, the sky was starting to get pretty dark, but the clouds were still really orange and kind of like a dark blue behind them. It was beautiful, and you could see it in the pond. The planet was gone. There was no planet. It was gone. Where it was at was clear. There was nothing there. I still took video of it, but there was no planet. And that kind of blew me away, and Albert was the only one that looked at it. So I was like, Albert, look, the planet's gone, and then you were like, oh, whoa, where did the planet go? And a couple of military jets flew over later, and then it started getting really windy. I mean, like 25 miles an hour, easy wind. Set something down, it was blowing away, blowing our water bottles over. I mean, it got windy. Only we will be back. We're going to go back. We're going to try to make it a regular thing, maybe a couple of times a month throughout the summer. I'm going to do this. I'm not always at the levee, though. I have a couple of places that I'd like to do this at. One of them's kind of a drive, like about an hour drive. I hope nobody cares, but it's way up. It's higher up, on the mountains, and it really is a beautiful view. And right now, where that place that I want to go to is having Bigfoot screams all night long and keeping everybody awake. So not only can you see like the city lights and all that, but we might have some kind of Sasquatch or Wolfman even. I mean, that's what we'll be looking for besides just sky watching. So, I mean, those are the things that I want to do this summer, and I want to do at least twice a month. So we'll be looking forward to that, I will be working on that. This one was like a spur of the moment. I was just like, you know what? The weather's really good. Who's interested in going sky watching, And then we went out there and had such a good time until the wind picked up. It got so windy, it was uncomfortable, and not everybody was dressed properly. I brought everything I need, because I've been doing this for like 5 or 6 years. So I was prepared. I mean, I had a thermos of coffee and some water and some snacks and a chair and a shirt in case the wind picked up or it got chilly, Like I know already, this isn't my first sky watch. But a lot of the guys that went, that it was their first time, and they didn't bring their chair or anything. So, and I felt bad if I sat down, it would be like rude, when everybody's standing up. So I stood up the whole time with everyone. And but I'll definitely, like, we'll know. I'll set the dates out like a couple of months in advance. So like on certain dates we'll do it, and you'll be able to know months in advance, in case, unless something happens where I can't make it. That still doesn't mean that it still won't go off, though. It'll just mean that I might not show up. But I'm anticipating that it'll continue all summer long. We did it last year. It was great. It was so fun. We were doing it about once a month last year. It just depends. Some months we do it even more. Like if there's activity going on throughout the week and you're getting reports of stuff going on, then we do more of them because there's activity, and we've had stuff happen on them too, at where we see stuff, but only it's rare, you know what I mean? It doesn't happen every single time, but you'll never see anything if you don't go look. That's the thing. Yeah, I heard of that. He said, I heard of the Mount Adams. In fact, I watched a lot of videos on that. Man, I was talking to Adolf. They're still there. We're not sure on the date. It'll be like a later summer date. We're still talking about going up to the Courtright and camping out there, where those guys had their 10/11/02 incident. We just haven't landed on a date yet, and they don't even open it until July. You can't even get in there until July. So we still have a couple of months, to figure out what day and everything. Yeah, so be looking for that, and I'll keep everybody up on that, as we get closer, and I'll try to give like at least a month or so notice on the date, and then it might not happen too, like if it doesn't work out for the guys, the 10/11/02 guys, because you got to understand, what the whole deal is they're going back to face something that happened to them. And it's not an easy thing to go back to the same place where you had something happen to you like that, a life-changing thing. I mean, it's not easy. The only thing is they're encouraged by how many people want to go, because the more the merrier, there's safety in numbers, kind of like, if you know what I mean. So if they had to go back by themselves, just a little small group of them, they would not go. I'm going to tell you right now. At the same time as I say that, though, there's still that underlying fear. Even with a group of people, there's still that underlying fear, and that might parlay into, backing out of it. And I don't blame them one bit. When I saw Bigfoot, I did not want to go to the mountains for 6 years, and you couldn't have drugged me there. I mean, you would have had to knock me out and take me there, because I would not go at all. There was no way that anyone could have forced me to go up to the mountains after, it took me 6 years to build up enough courage. And I had to have a group of people, just like they're talking about. I wasn't going to go by myself. I tried to get like 20-something people to go with me. It wound up being 8, but 8 was plenty, and lots of guns, right? So I felt safe in a group. And then I didn't even go all the way back to the same spot. I didn't go that high up into the mountains. I worked my way back up, right? We went just into the pine trees, and where we were still like within 20 miles or 30 miles of it. And then we went the next time a little closer, And pretty soon we camped right there, and I didn't sleep for 3 days the day that we camped right at the spot where I saw it the first time. I mean, it was really, it's a life-changing thing, and I'm not the same in the woods ever again. I used to be very relaxed, and I would wander off like nothing all by myself, and I would go up there for a week or 2 weeks at a time, all by myself. No gun, no anything, just a camera, and go up there and just be so relaxed. That's gone. Flat out. I don't go, you know, I just don't go unless there's more people and I'm armed and all that. I mean, it's a trip, and I know the Bigfoot knows that I'm not going to shoot him if I see him, but only I'm not going to put up with no bad rogue Bigfoot either. If he's going to come through and he wants a fight, I'm going to give it to him, but I'm not there to go hunt them down. And I put that intention out there when I go, because I believe they can read your intentions. They could drain your batteries. According to the Native Americans, they mind speak. So like in the old Cherokee tradition, the Bigfoot could read the mother's mind. He was in love with the daughter and wanted to marry her, and he had to get the permission of the mother, but he was reading the mother's thoughts. Like she thought. If he's a good hunter, then he brought a deer and laid it down, not butchered or anything, a whole deer or 2 deer. Where he messed up is when she was thinking maybe he should, he has brought me enough deer, maybe he could bring firewood. And he brought a big tree and laid it down on her porch. And she came out and like, a big tree, I can't use a big tree. How come he didn't cut it up, And then the next day that night he took the tree away, right? Never brought her wood again, but he still brought meat. But the thing is, he knew what she was thinking. So I think they haven't changed. So when we go up there, I send my intentions. And I don't think they get mad at us if we want to carry a weapon or a camera or anything like that. Long as our intention is not to shoot or harm the first one we see. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure of that. I talked to Christina regularly. I talked to her last week. She shared some pretty interesting things with me, and I'm not at liberty to share it. I would love to though, but I promised I would not, and I'm not. But you guys would trip out, man. I mean, and that's all I can say. Really, all I can say. There's some interesting things going on, and and I talk to her all the time, but they're not prepared. They're not prepared to share everything that they have now, and I'm excited for them because it used to be tradition to them, and that's all. You know what I mean? It was history, and an oral history, and now it's becoming not history. It's becoming real time. And so, I'm really happy for them. I wish I could like go over there and experience some of it, but not at this time, and maybe never, and we might never ever hear anything, but that's just how it is. I hate to say. Right. I'm with you, Adolf, man. I am. Like, over there where you're at is Bigfoot Central. Like, not only is there that possibility, what you're talking about, there's Bigfoots over there. Like, they're thick over there. in that area, not far. I mean, me and Jeff had maybe his first sighting over there, right by there, not many miles from there. And his wife had quite the incident with the infrasound, making her sick for 3 days right by there too. So, I mean, that's a real hot spot over there and I agree, the more the merrier. It feels more safer to me, you know. Maybe somebody could stay awake. That's the part I want to happen. And I'll be the one usually that stays awake, because when we get like in the middle of Bigfoot land, I don't sleep that good. I really don't. I don't want to be a sack lunch. In Disney CW? What's CW? I never heard of that. Except for the CW, what is it? I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, man. I know, and a lot of people think they think it's funny, but man, when you finally see one and you watch one for a couple hours like I did, and then you see them again like a few times over the years, and the more you see and experience with them, the more you realize you're a popcorn fart. You know what I mean? Like you're nothing, and they are freaking badass. You know what I mean? Like you're in their yard, and they are very, very capable. And that's how come nobody sees them. You know what I mean? Like that's how come it is so hard to see one and get pictures of one. I mean, they are not stupid. And I don't want to be around the hungry one, that really, like that one, or a mean one that had like a bad day, and then you show up like say like the week before, a bunch of idiot drunks are out there shooting at them, actually saw it by accident and started shooting at it, and then you show up and sleep in a sack lunch, like, oh God, man. Wow, thank you, man. Wow, thank you. Wow. I will listen to that. Thank you so much. I should be paying you for that. Jeez. Man, thank you. You guys are great, man. You guys are my family. Really, all of you are my family. I don't care how big it could be 100,000 people. You guys could be my family. I'm serious. I think there's a need for something like this where we could get on and be real and talk about stuff, and not all stuffed shirts and all this stuff. Let's like tell it like it is. Let's be real about it all. I'm way into being real and not hyper telling things to where it's not real, because it is what happens already is already unbelievable all by itself. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to like make more out of something of what we talk about. Seriously, it already is out there. You don't got to build up on it or nothing. Oh, it's Cold Warrior. He was talking CW. I get it. Duh, I'm a dummy. Yeah, thank you, Protean, man. That is so cool. I can't wait to hear the music too. We actually, now we've been talking about, me and him have been talking about that. And that's one of the people I've been talking to, and I love it. I can't wait to hear it. Yeah, now I talk with Ghost Wolf a lot too, and man, the dude knows what he's talking about, you guys, and talk about sensitive. In my career, or I guess like in my time of meeting people that are psychic, or say they're psychic or sensitive, or all those kind, every kind of, you name it. I never met anybody that, I mean, they claim, okay, they make big claims, but they never kind of really deliver. You know what I mean? It's hit or miss. Not with Ghost Wolf. It isn't. Like, I spent a few days with him that one time up at the spot, and it was spot on. I'm going to tell you right now, spot on. And he's a good guy, a real good guy too. And I know, as I'm sitting here, everybody that's in the chat right now and everybody that's listening later on are really good people. And they just want to know, just like me and just like everybody here. We just want to know. Some of us know already. Some of us are knowers, but there's still more to know. I mean, I figure like every time I come to a conclusion and I think I've got it figured out, about that time something comes along and blows my little conclusion to pieces, and I don't have it figured out. I don't think I'll ever figure it out, but I can learn more and more and more. Well, call me up. I think I put the phone number. Did I put the phone number? I'm not sure if it'll ring or anything. Let me see. I want to hear your vision. Let me see here. That's not you calling, is it? Or is that just me? Oh, it's the phone updating. Yeah, but I put the phone number. Let me see. Let me put it again. You guys anybody want to call? Let me see. Oh, I made it wrong. Yeah, that's the phone number. But don't expect me to answer it any other time, okay? That phone, I don't use this phone except for only for this. So if you guys call it any other time, I will not answer it. It'll go to voicemail, and I don't even check the voicemail. And for some reason, it's showing me all this junk. There we go. Okay. Yeah, you should see my setup. This is the most professional setup you ever saw. If I could grab, yeah, it's my live chat line only. That's it. That's all that phone is for. And I thought about doing like Jeffrey, like the hotline number, but then you got to carry two phones. I can't even answer one phone. Why would I carry two phones? You know what I mean? Like, I'm bad with one. Don't give me two. I'll never answer another phone in my life, geez. But I had to have a line that I didn't care, that I could put it out to the world, because I really can't put my regular phone, otherwise it would always be blowing up. Jeffrey has one that he's had for like 10 years, and it blows up, man. 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, just like goes off. It'll be people in Holland and everywhere else, And when I thought, man, I don't want to put my cell phone on there, but I got another cell phone just for that, like a pay-as-you-go phone. That way I can hook it up and it's on, and people can call me if they want to call me. If they don't want to call me, fine. I'm fine with that too. But it is available. And I'm working on, soon as, like right now, I want to do Skype. Like me and William Stillings, he's a Skype guy. And actually so is Kaiser Chef. I haven't talked to him in a while, a few weeks, but they like to Skype, and I have not figured out how to do Skype on this thing yet, only because it's boxed. Right when I get done with this, I box it all up and then I stash it, and then when I want to do a show, then I have to take everything out and unbox it and set it up. Like this right here is actually a kitchen chair that's sitting in front of me, a kitchen chair, and I have the mic bolted to it. And then next to me, I have the mixer sitting on a tote, right? A Walmart $7 tote. And that's what I got right there. And then I have a nice chair though. I have a nice chair. But only once my room is done, then it's going to be a whole different ball game. I can set everything up and come in, turn it on, anytime I want. And then I can play with everything anytime I want. When like, say Kaiser or William or any of you guys want to Skype in, we can actually Skype, try it, make all the settings right, and then when the next day I can come in and turn it on and everything's set and go, and I won't have to break it all down. That's the part that's killing me right now is breaking it down, because once you do that, all the settings are gone. So it's like you have to reset everything every single time, and it's a big pain in the butt. But only I miss you guys so much. I break it all out and I go through a couple hours of setup and make sure it works. And then that's why, like last week, I didn't have the sound right. I hope I have the sound this time. I thought it was low. When I went back and listened, it was kind of low. And so this time what I think was going on is I had my headphones turned up. So I was hearing myself loud. And I thought you guys are getting blasted. So, I turned up the volume when you said to turn up the volume, but only it was blasting me, and I forgot that I could turn the headset down, right? Otherwise, I can't tell if anything's going through if I don't use the headset, and if somebody calls in, I can't hear them unless I have the headset. So got to have the headset to make sure that everything's working. Thank goodness for headsets. No. Your wrist underneath your palm is burning. Man, my leg has been burning like sunburn because of fans. It's that time of the year where there's fans. Man, fans kill me. Huh. Mine's fine. So far I'm okay, so you're not feeling it from me. It might be somebody else out in the audience that you're tuned in with tonight. Yeah, so I have these really cool pictures. Man, I wonder if I should share one, you guys. I'm going to share one, okay? You guys can keep on talking. I have a picture that I don't know if I shared it with you guys, but it's going to blow you away, okay? Let me see here how to add one. A media image. Okay. and say okay. Yeah, okay, but this is a ghost sitting in the back of a garage. Maybe I shouldn't put it right there. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to put it right there. I'm going to put it on a different one, but I'm going to get it, and I want you guys to see this. This is so creepy. And I have a whole bunch more pictures, and I'm gonna have her on the show. The girl that sent me these pictures. I showed the orbs, okay, a little while back. Only, man, I just have to share a picture. You guys are gonna be blown. What the heck? Am I off? Jeez. I know you can still hear me probably. Let me see. Add. What the heck? Video capture device. Okay. What? I am such a nerd. Oh my god. Tell me. Say, you're a nerd, dude. You're such a nerd. Okay, so. What about. No sound. Okay, I'm back, right? I forgot. I forgot. I can't, I can't do the thingamajiggy. So let me see if I go to studio mode. Okay. I go to scene 2. Okay, now you're still seeing me and hearing me, right? Whoops. You're still seeing and hearing me? Yes. Okay. So, okay, let me go back to it. And I forget, but only that picture, if you zoom in on it, it doesn't have a face. It has glowing eyes. I'll see what I could do here and see what I can. I'll see what I could do. I'm going to mess with it a little bit and see if I can't make it bigger. Okay, and then I'm going to add, I better add an audio input. All right, and I need to put a filter. All right. Okay, so there we go. And you can still hear me, right? Okay. So, I made it bigger. And you can still hear me, right? I still have the voice. You just can't see me, but you can see it. But that, I kind of enlarged it a little bit. But yeah, that is so creepy. Yeah, she said it walks through walls. It appears and disappears. When they moved, it followed them. And so the bad part is this thing followed them, and kind of creepy, huh? I'm going to share one more, okay? I'm going to add one more picture to this, and let's see if I go here. Okay, I know that looks jacked, but I didn't want to undo the old picture off of it. I just added a picture on top of that picture. Okay, but this is another picture that she sent me out of the dozen pictures that she sent me. And this is the one that my grandkids freaked out when I was playing. I was like looking at the pictures, and I was looking at that picture, and my grandkids freaked out on that picture right there. Hey, cat, what are you doing? Hmm? But it's actually her son next to her with his tongue out, and she's on the left, and so the one in the middle is not. It wasn't there. It only came out in the picture. It's actually her son. She had a son die and pass away, and she thinks that's what that is. That's an actual cell phone picture. Cat, man, you gotta go, dude. You can't stay with me. You got to go. Hey. Now. Yeah, my cat is messing with me. Okay. Let's see. Cat, move it, move it. All right. Okay, so what do you think, man? Is that crazy? That's crazy. I got a bunch more. I wonder, like, I could share one more. Just like, cat, now. Go on. Go on. Get. Go on. Get out of here. Go on. Go on. Go on. Don't be doing that. Just get out of here. Go on, Squatch. Come on. Get out of here, baby. Crazy cat. Jeez. Okay, hold on. Let me get to the other one now. I had to get rid of my cat. It was like rubbing on my microphone and all this stuff. I'm like, go on. I gotta watch out for him because he bites, you know, a little shit. So okay. One more. Let me take these out, and that way you're not seeing pictures over pictures. I'll just add another one. Okay, so I'm gonna add an image. Okay, now this one is they heard something outside and they pulled the curtain back, and this is what they saw when they pulled the curtain back. And let me see here. And one of them quickly took a picture. Okay. Hi, Aaron. How are you? Aloha. I hope you're not being inundated with lava. I hope you're safe. I have some friends over there, and they're like ready to go, like any minute. I guess it's kind of calming down over there a little bit. Okay, that is outside. Whatever that is, she says it might be aliens, 2 of them. And that's outside. That was outside their window. But she has a whole bunch more pictures. And I mean, this is just a little taste of what I got for you. I have no idea what it is. All I know is it's creepy. She calls herself Zeta, so that gives you an idea. I mean, that's not her real name. That is what she goes by on Facebook and stuff. And if you know anything about Zeta, that means alien talk, right? So there you go. So we're back, and I made a complete mess of it because I wasn't prepared to do anything for you guys. But I decided at the last minute to give you a little. I mean, this is some of the things that I'm talking to people about that you guys don't know about. You know what I mean? Like, I got a bunch of things like irons in the fire, and I really can't address it all real quick because I'm like I just told you, my studio desk is a kitchen chair, and like I got a tote right here holding the mixer board, and my microphone's like actually connected to the chair. Like I'm not set up in a permanent setup. Soon as I am so close. I can't hardly wait. The carpet guy, we were actually expecting him today, and he didn't. There isn't no today, so sometime this week there's going to be carpet in here, and then the work begins. Moving everything out of the motel room into this room and setting our room back up. And then once we're out of there completely, that becomes my room, or at least a corner of it becomes my room for this. And then I could have it set up, and I can take calls, and I can edit, and I can work on stuff and get settings and leave them set, on the setting thing. Like these pictures, for instance. The only reason I don't have them ready is because right before I came on here, I was actually pulling everything out of boxes and setting it up. And I didn't give myself enough time to go in the thing and set up the scenes. And that's how come when I put the picture and then you couldn't hear me anymore and you couldn't see me anymore, But I wasn't gone. I just wasn't there. I disappeared. All that has to be set up, and it can be done. And I also can Skype. I just haven't figured out how, and I want to figure out how, and I want to do all that stuff. And then I want to keep it personal too, like this. Like, I don't want to turn into Alex Jones or anything like that, right? I just want to be like hang out. I call it the zone. I want to hang out in the zone with everybody, and we could all be in the zone hanging out and chatting on the chats and sharing really cool things. That's what I want to do. That's my thing. And maybe I might do an intro with intro music. That's what that was earlier that you saw. He said he had the music done. I think it already passed. Protean Polymath. He has the music. He's actually helping me do like music that could come on. And I was thinking like the music could come on because really there's nobody in chat for a few minutes, or a minute or so. So I actually could have an intro, and then actually it'll help when for later when all the people are tuning in that don't get to watch it live. There's like a little, intro thing, but I'm going to keep it very, very, very quick. It's not going to be, 3 minutes later you're going, oh my God, is he still going with that? I'm not going to do that to you. I just want to be in the zone with everyone and share things. I want to go hang out with people. Like I want to make events and go out and do things. And I know people from way across over New York and East Coasters and Midwesterners, I know they can't go. That doesn't mean that I can't go, and you know what I mean, like where you are, like maybe we could work something out later on where I can go and we could be in the zone in Texas, or we could be in the zone in Milwaukee, or we could be in the zone in West Virginia or North Carolina or Florida. It doesn't matter. Like I want to be there, and I want to do it as much as possible. Heck, even Ireland, you know what I mean? Like be in the zone for all those people too. And actually go live at the event, and like they do for what do you call it, American Idol and all those things, where they look, the audience is over here and everybody goes yay, but we could all be in the zone, in our respective areas and enjoying the actual event, real time and hanging out. I mean, just something. I don't know if it'll ever happen. I don't know if we could pull it off, but those are my little bitty dreams, that I have. Yeah, from Transylvania. Oh my God. That would be cool. That would be cool. Oh my God. You'll see me wearing like a tin thing around my neck. A tin thing and garlic necklace, right? Yeah. Be like walking around going, yeah, I'm here, I'm hanging, yeah. Oh man. So fun. But I do have relatives like in Indiana, and then Kaiser is in somewhere over in the Midwest, and I want to go visit over there and like sit down with Kaiser in person instead of on the phone, or on Skype or something like that, and really talk to him, and you guys could be a fly on the wall to our little conversation. Hi, Christina. We were just talking about you. We were. Was your ears burning? Yeah, I was. They asked about you, and I was telling them, that there's things happening, but I can't tell them. That's what I told them, and that's exactly what I said. You could ask them. They're like, so what's happening with Christina? I'm like, there's things happening, but I can't tell you. Maybe one day I can, or maybe you can tell them, but only I can't say. But I did say that I was in touch with you, and so that's, your ears must have been burning like, hey, I need to see, what's going on. I think it would be cool. Like, I don't even know if I get cell phone service over there, but man, up in the big trees, the most beautiful place in the world I ever been besides Yosemite is on the Thule Reservation, and that is no lie. I mean, it is so beautiful up there. Old 2,000-year-old sequoia trees, as big around as my house. I mean, like, it is beyond description for me to say how meaningful that is to be in a place like that. I mean, it's beautiful. It really is. And I know not everybody can go there, so it was a real honor to ever go there. And I only could thank Christina too for being able to go there twice, even if that's ever the only time I ever go in my whole life. That's going to be two of the biggest, coolest memories I have. And I've been all over the world, and that was one of the most beautiful places I ever been. So that experience is way up there in the top experiences of my life, right there. And I feel honored to be able to go there and see that. I got to let you know that. She is an Indian princess, only really there's no such thing. But don't tell Christina that, She's the Indian princess. Oh. Yeah, my doctor moved, and he's Creek. He's Creek. And I know, I know that dream catchers aren't a Creek Indian thing, but I wanted to give him an office warming. Since they moved offices, I couldn't just go to the doctor and not recognize that he moved. So I took him a dream catcher, and I know he's not into that at all. He's like into the history of all Native history, but he's not really into decorations or something like that. But his office staff loved it. They're like hanging it up and everything. So he was happy to have it because his staff was happy. Yeah, but it was really, I love that stuff. I'm, me. Like, me and my wife are like burning sage almost every day, just getting that cleansing of the house every time. Ah, man. Man, I can't wait for you to go see him, Adolf. If you want to hang out, man, let me know, because I know that it must be very, very hard to have your second half all the way across the world, and you're over here. So I got, as long as you give me a little bit of notice, man, I got time. We could even just go hang out around here. We don't have to go nowhere. Just so you don't have that on, like be thinking about it all the time. I know it must be very rough. Like, keep you on my prayers, man. Cool, Wisconsin. That's where my sister's at. Wisconsin. I have a sister over there. I think she lives by Neenah or something like that. Neenah, Wisconsin. The older male family member? Dang. I would listen to him, man. He knows what he talks about. The ghost wolf does. Yeah, I love looking at the pictures of your wife and baby. The baby's getting big, and I think my sister-in-law said she can make um, uh, jewelry for the size of your little girl. I think she replied to that. I don't know if you saw that or not. I forgot to mention that when we were out at the Skywatch. You know. But she said she can, and but you have to say, like, if you want it like a hook, where they just hook it in there where she could lose it or get it ripped off. So it has to be clipped on, right? Like, have a backing on it. Because I saw she already has her ears pierced already. I think I noticed in the pictures. Yeah, where did Christina go? She was here. Now she's gone. I hope I didn't make her mad. I hope I didn't make you mad, Christina. I didn't really, honest, I didn't say anything. Honest. Yeah, it's way up north. Yeah. Oh, you're down lower, huh? Yeah. Okay. Okay, I will, man. I'll email you back, okay? And let you know. Oh, okay. Good. I didn't want you to go away mad, Christina. Like, we love you. I love you, man. Or girl, or ma'am. You'll have to teach me how to say that in Thule, because I would love to do that too. And I'll let you know about the piano thing. I love piano. I love piano. I'll let you know. And I'll probably let everybody hear it on here and see what everybody thinks too. You're working on a report? Did you go back to school? Whoa. Yes, now I'm just like reading the chat and interacting with the chat. I don't have much else. I shared everything I had for tonight, so I'm just hanging with you guys now. Cool, man. Right on. I wonder if there was a way I could share it. Oh, okay. Doing a report for work. I know you work, that's for sure. I see that. And you went traveling too, like Disneyland, I heard or seen, like Lucky. Let me see here. While you guys chat, I'm going to check the email. and see what I got sent here. I kind of love that this, I got to thank BZ, man. This computer is smoking hot, BZ. I don't know if you're out there listening, but this is a smoking hot computer, man. I can do anything on this computer, absolutely. Oh, I see it, Protean. Let me see if I can get it off of here now. Let me see. Download track 1 and track 2. Yeah, the Bloviated BZ, man. He helped me build my computer. I had a little bit of money that you guys helped me with, but only not enough, right? And he surprised me, okay? Like, I wasn't even expecting it. He was telling me he needed to meet with me, that he wanted to collaborate on a project. So I thought I was going to be helping him out, and then we go and we have lunch, and then he, slides some cash to me. And it was enough to fix the computer. Like, I probably could have did with a better graphics card, but I am not complaining. My graphics card is pretty good, but only I was able to really get to a smoking hot computer. I mean, like now, like before, the computer I was using before, just running what I'm running right now, a camera and the internet and all that, what I'm running right now, it would be using up 58% on my processor. If I shared pictures like I just did a minute ago, that would put it over and my computer would freeze and I would lose my connection. And I mean, it would almost be maxing my processor out. Well, right now, let's see, I just downloaded music and everything. Right now, my computer is running at 4.2%. 4.2. When I first turned it on, it was running at 2.1%. And before it was running over 50%, right? Over 50% of the processors working. Now I'm not even running 5% of the processors. I have still 95 more percent to go, I mean, I am jazzed about that. I have to thank BZ so much. Andy, he also told me that if when I get my room set up and I can get more regular, and that's what I want to do also, more regular, that he has a spot for me on the Sackhead Radio Network. So if I want, I could even have a show on the Sackhead Radio Network, and I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I want to make a commitment to that, but definitely anything BZ needs or anything you guys too. I mean, you guys have helped me so much. Even the ones that even didn't give me anything are encouraging me, because I almost quit. I was going to quit. I got kind of disenchanted there for a little while, and I didn't know what to do with myself. And you guys encouraged me and kept me going. And now, I have a direction and I have goals and I'm back in life. And it wouldn't be that if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you guys. I mean, I can't talk about it very much more. I'll start crying. I mean, you guys bring tears. You guys touch me deep. And so I won't ever quit. I promise. I'm not, And I even worry sometimes because I get so busy trying to get that room done, everything done so I could get a permanent little spot to set up. And believe me, once I'm set up, you guys will not be able to get rid of me. I'll be on here like almost every day, if possible, but at least every other day or every couple of days. It won't be like once every week or anything like that. I have an 8-core AMD. I have what I did was I bought the 1700X 8-core AMD processor and 32 gigabytes of RAM. I got the Killer. It's called Killer something motherboard. I can't remember exactly at the moment. It has Wi-Fi on it, so that, like, if say we have an event and there's Wi-Fi there, I can take the computer out and take like a little setup, and instead of taking the laptop where where it'll use up a lot of the resources on the laptop, I could actually take this main computer out there and run wireless also. So I'm jazzed. I mean, I'm way jazzed. I'm like so happy, and like I'll give freaking BZ a big old giant hug, you know. See, I had on the computer I had before, that I was using before, I had 8 gigs of RAM, and I had a quad core and all that, but I built it like 9 years ago. And so at 9 years ago, 8 gigs of RAM was a lot. And the quad core I had, and it was, I mean, like in the day, back 9 years ago, it was a kick-ass computer. Well, go 9 years later, and it would still run anything except for when I started adding high definition video and some of these, like the studio program, and then putting pictures up and all that kind of stuff. It was like not making it. And then I actually used it for Jeffrey's show. The whole time I was working with Jeffrey, almost, except for the last maybe year, we were using my computer over there in the studio. So we were running multi cameras, everything. So we used it up pretty much, And so then when I started doing my own thing, it wasn't like cutting it. It actually wasn't cutting it for Jeff either. I wound up getting him a computer, building him one for his studio. And so Jeffrey has a pretty kick butt computer himself right now. I think it's only 16 gigs of RAM, and I think it's only 6 core. It's an Intel processor, but still pretty good, real good, really. It has a 1060 GPU video card. Yeah, 2009 is going to be slow, like your car is way faster, Actually, with computers, that when I worked at the casino, that's who taught me computers. I knew about them a little bit and would take them apart and stuff like that. Remember when the floppy drives, true 5 1/4 floppy drives, no hard drive, right? Put the little thing in, and that's how you booted your computer. You put the floppy drives in and put it in and then clock it down. Well, I used to like to work on hot rods and stuff like that, and I had the job and the money to do that. And when I got hurt, now I can't work on cars like that. I can't work on cars. And I love, working on things. So what I did was I went from working on cars, I parlayed that into doing computers. So now when I'm talking gigahertz and RAM and processor speed and all this stuff, to me it's like talking horsepower and turbocharged and all that stuff. So and I don't have to lay under it and all that, kind of jack it up and everything. It's a lot easier, but I still get as much benefit and fun out of it. Well, I actually, like on Jeff's computer, I put a 500 SSD for his C drive, and then he has a 1 terabyte Seagate 7200 RPM for his backup, like saving videos and stuff like that. So it has like a terabyte. I didn't do that for this one. I have the 500 gigabyte SSD for my main drive, but I only have two 500 gigabyte Seagates for my backup, but I have room to put 4 more hard drives in, and later on, as they go on sale, they're getting cheaper and cheaper. I'll buy some of those. I'll put like a 2 terabyte or a 4 terabyte, you know. And probably everybody in the chat's going, what? You guys lost me. Probably only 2 or 3 people in here that's understanding everything. A fire CUDA. That's on your game, huh? On your gaming rig. You probably have the fastest gaming rig in the valley. I know that for a fact. And probably more games than anyone in the valley. Christina. Where you had the funny hair. Oh, man, don't make me laugh. That's too funny. Yeah, the hard look and the funny hair. Oh, geez. Okay, let me see here. Oh, my God. Okay, so let me see. Guys, that is not funny. No. Okay, so scene 2. Let me add. I'm gonna see if I can. Everybody's gonna hear it all at the same time here. Let me see. What do you? A media source? Let's see. Okay, track 1. Okay, let me see if it works.
Created with free version for non-commercial use.
Can you guys hear it? You hear music? Can you guys hear it? It's awesome. I like it. Dude, it's awesome. Man, dude, you can really play the piano, man. Whoa. Okay. All right, you can play the piano. That's good stuff, man. Really, honest. That is good. Wow, man, I'm impressed. Jeez, that was good. Really good. I love it. I didn't let everybody hear the whole thing, though. But, wow. Okay. That is really cool. Same here, Christina. Same here. You freaking... Yeah, same here. In fact, on this Memorial Day, the only reason I'm going is because of David Ragosa. But yeah, it's not what it seems, is it? It's almost a big show. Let the curtains begin, you know, like pull back the curtain and let's see inside. Where's that? Emerson, Lake and Palmer. That's what that reminds me of. He reminds me of the Emerson, Lake and Palmer thing. You guys know what I'm talking about. Brain salad surgery. The Emerson, Lake and Palmer brain salad surgery. Play that one. And that's what Christina's talking about, is the way the show goes. Oh my God. Like, I got chewed up and spit out so quick. Soon as that he did not need what I had, I was kicked to the curb so dang fast, you know. And I really wanted to quit like way before then, and I quit. I should have, you know, I should have left him hanging when he didn't have everything, and I was too nice. I'm too nice. Yeah, man, Protean, that is beautiful music, man. Oh my God, you got talent, buddy. You got talent. That sounds so good. I can't wait to put pictures to that. Jeez, you blow me away, man. Blow me away. Yeah, it's a brain salad surgery. Yep, I tell you right now, man. Brain salad surgery. Should I play the second one? Huh? You guys want to hear? Like, I think there was two of them. Track 1 and track 2, right? Let's hear the second one. I mean, I don't have nothing to do. If you guys don't mind, I will play the second one. I mean, I only put a little bit of it in, so, but I'll add the second one, and we shall give it a listen, at least some of it. So really it says track 01 and 02, so track 1 and track 3. So this is 02 track 3. Okay. And wait, I'm gonna put me in here too, so that you have something to look at besides a dark screen. Okay. Oh. Okay. Well. I don't know what I did on that one. Let's see here. I guess it's just gonna look weird. Sorry, guys. I don't know what I'm doing when I do that, so it's gonna have, you're gonna see all the stuff when it goes over there. So
Created with free version for non-commercial use.
go. I gotta go over here to hear it.
Free version for non-commercial use.
I love it. Get down, bro. Jeez. Get down, bro. Jeez. Me too.
Created with free version for non-commercial use.
Me too.
Created with free version for non-commercial use. Created with free version for non-commercial use.
Man, that was really good. Oh my God. That was so good. Oh my God, dude. Man, that was really good. Oh my God. That was so good. Yeah. Like, wow, man. You can really get down on the piano. Like, I'm serious. That is some serious, what do they call it? Tickling the ivories? Man, you really do. Woo. That was smoking hot. I like it a lot. Yeah. I mean, that ain't your grandma playing on the piano, that's for sure, man. That was some really good stuff, man. I I'll go listen to a freaking concert, tell you the truth. That is good. Really good. I would pay to see a concert of that. That's my kind of style. I love it. You want to be the intro voice? Oh, well, look, we'll work on that. I mean, when you come over, we'll use this microphone. I can turn the bass or whatever, like you could go like this and way over where you're like real deep and say that you're a bad dude, and you can talk the bass way down, or you can just bring it right up to normal. I mean, we can play with it. We can make your voice anything you want. Honest. Hi, Sai. How are you, man? I am doing well. All right, Christina, man, don't work too hard, okay? Be cool now. And don't go to Disneyland without me no more, Your grandma was a concert pianist. My grandma could play the piano and the guitar and the steel guitar and the drums and the accordion and the trombone. I mean, my grandma could play anything, man. And she could get down on the piano. She was a piano teacher for years. Everybody in my family could play an instrument, and the only thing I could play is AM, FM. I mean, I am sad. I mean, I can play it like a rock star, you know what I mean? Never miss a beat, but it's only AM, FM. I am totally bad. Totally, But like my dad would own the barber shop, and everybody in the barber shop played a different instrument. Like there was a fiddle player, a banjo player, a couple of guitar players. Somebody played the trumpet and the sax. And then my grandma would come in with her polka music, accordion, and stuff like that. And oh man, the place would be packed full of people just listening to them play music, and they would make a ton of money on haircuts because everybody wanted to go get a haircut. They would get a haircut every day just so they could hear everybody playing. I mean, it was ridiculous. They had one old dude that would go get shaved every single day, and then he would stay there all day. He would pay for the shave and then stay there and then play backup guitar, It was like the most fun. I mean, if you didn't have anything to do, you went to the barber shop, it was cool. No, I used to play. I did. I I was more like a picker. You know what I mean? Not a strummer. I played the guitar for a long time, and then I picked up a 12 string, and I started learning the 12 string, and then after that I never played a 6 string ever again. I only played the 12 string. And then one day somebody my dad got mad at me, and all I had was the 12 string. And I mean, he was really mad, and he beat me with my own 12 string. And the only thing left was like the neck and a bunch of little pieces of wood with strings hanging off of it, And then that was the end of my guitar playing. I really didn't pick it up after that because the actual guitar costed me a lot of money, you know. Good night, JG. Good night, Christina. What do I know about the Kandahar giant? Quite a bit. One of my best friends is the guy who killed it. In fact, that's something that a lot of people don't know. How did Jeffrey meet the guy that killed the Kandahar giant? He was my friend first, and he only went on the show because I asked him to. That's how he got on our show, but only the Kandahar giant, like what really happened, you can't get the guy to talk about it very much because his best friend in the world was killed by the Kandahar giant. It skewered him with a big giant 26 or 28 foot pole with a 3-foot blade on it. And it was the first person and only person that I know of that giant killed. That, you know, it killed actually a bunch of people and ate them, was eating them. But I mean, that was Kaiser's best friend, one of his very best friend, mentor guys. And the Kandahar giant ran out of a cave so fast, like Bigfoot, you know, really quick, agile, and skewered, you know, like put him on that pole and went just, you know, picked him up straight up in the air. And the guy was like hanging on, you know, with a pole through him. And then he went and was trying to skewer other guys, right? Like he was going like this with somebody hanging on the pole. He is like going for another person, right? And that does something to somebody to see that, okay? And they were shooting him and it wasn't doing anything. And one of them started shooting him in the face and realized that's because the wounds were starting to heal instantly after when they were shooting him. The wounds were starting to heal on the body. They could see where the other soldiers that they went looking for had shot him in the body, and after he was dead, they were looking at him and the wounds are almost all the way healed only in a day, right? So they realized if they were shooting him in the face, they were killing him. So he said like maybe it was over like in 18 seconds or less, but they all started shooting him in the face. They started yelling, shoot him in the face, and they killed him. But his friend still died. And then he was saying like the shield that it was carrying, in one hand a shield, the other hand this big long pole with somebody on it, right? And running around, the shield took 3 people to pick it up. And this guy was carrying it around like nothing, okay? It took 3 people, 3 men to pick up the shield. So, yeah, I know a little bit about that giant. Yeah. Yeah, it did make some kind of noise. It had red hair, long red hair. It had a red beard. And there he is, man. There's my buddy Sword Point. And now he's on here. We can't talk about it because I don't want to mess him up. Okay. Right on, bro. It's good to see you. But like, we were just talking about the giant, so we're gonna stop talking about the giant because I promised you that we wouldn't do that with you on. So I'm good for my word, man. We will not. But it is good to see you. I haven't talked to you in a bit. And I'll be on. I'll have the Skype set up tomorrow. So like, if you're not busy later in the day, like, we could Skype. I got some stuff I want to talk to you about. Anyways, about some of that Q stuff that's going on, man. Can you believe the Q post the last few days? I don't know if you've been watching it, but like, I didn't look at it for like a week, and I was looking. So when I was looking at it today, I was thinking about you, and then I saw that you put a video, and I went to play it, and it wasn't playing. It was saying, it gave like a weird message, and I was thinking, what the heck, man? Are they trying to shut up? Are they trying to shut you up? I don't get it. Is did they start hearing your videos and like starting to shut you up or something? Because it was said that the video wasn't available or something like that. And then the video before that, I watched that one, and you were talking about saying something in that video, or you're going to get to the main point, but the main point wasn't. The video didn't work. I'm like, uh-oh, I got to talk to my buddy and see what's up. Man, there's giants right here by me, freaking Bigfoot giants, like over by you too, Brown Dwarf. Man, I heard of some up there, like really huge, 24 feet, stuff like that. Yeah, see, I don't like talking bad about Jeff either. Really, he's my friend. It's it's just sad that he's so engrossed in being famous and having a TV show that other people doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, the number one goal is to be on TV and at all cost, and like, that means like, people get used up and spit out. Like, soon as you're not valuable, then you're gone. And I kind of, I as a person, he's a good person and everything, but I I have this belief that that isn't how you make it to the top, right? If you want to make it to the top, you don't sign any contract with the devil, first of all. And then second, you don't have to step on people either. You actually help people up, and you'll automatically go up. And maybe he doesn't know that yet, or he hasn't learned that, but only in my other life before I died, like, if I was still in my other life, you guys wouldn't know me. You absolutely wouldn't. I guarantee it. I worked at a casino. I was in the top management of the casino. I was making money. Had everything, a ranch, cars, cash. I mean, like, free tickets to the Super Bowl. I'm not kidding. That was my other life. When I got hurt and I lost my job and I went to this, like, you don't make it to the top of anything by, I mean, some people do, and they're ruthless, but you know what? Nobody likes them, and they're not enjoying life when they get there. You know what I mean? Because they don't have any friends to enjoy it with, because they chewed everyone and spit them out before to get there. And then they're very not happy people. Even though they have everything, they don't have anyone to enjoy it with. So you want to make it to the top, believe in yourself, and help people, and you will make it to the top. Believe in yourself and help people to rise up. Because every time you help somebody up, you go up. It's just the way it works. Every time you step on somebody, it makes it that much more harder to work your way up. And I'm sorry that is the way it is, but that's life, That's just the way it is. Yeah, see, Sam Squatch, you kind of got it right. My problem was I took too much spotlight. There wasn't enough room in the spotlight for me and him, according to him. For me, like, and not, I'm not like bagging on him or anything. I'm just saying, like, when you had, like, sometimes there is a chemistry of between two people, and they could be the opposite. You know what I mean? You could, and it works. You know what I mean? And that is where that's where your audience and everything, that's where the magic is, that makes you what you are in that show. Well, I think we had that, and now half of his magic went away. Half of my magic did too, because I don't have the thing. I don't have that. So, but only I still have me, and I don't care. I'm like, I'm not shooting to be on NBC primetime. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I more care about hanging out with you guys and doing what we're doing right now. Like, sharing that music was so cool. I mean, I love that, and sharing stories, and people, they send me pictures and stories, and I get to hang out with everyone. I mean, that this makes my life. And I only plan on being on like an hour. Here I am, I'm going over 2 hours already, and I'm having so much fun. And maybe it's not fun, like, for somebody that tunes into YouTube and they're looking for something, you know what I mean? And then they get this show and they're like, ooh, that was a cool picture. And then the rest of it, they're like, get on the point, man. No. And who is this dude they're talking about? No. But you know what I'm saying. I'm just here hanging with everybody, and I love it. And I have really good brothers to hang with, and sisters, and I love everybody so much. You need my number? Are you still on? Are you still on Skype? Are you still on Skype? I mean, do you still have your Skype going? Cause I'll Skype you really fast the number. I think I can do it with everything running. It doesn't bother me. I watch him too. Like tonight, I watched him with William Stillings. What a lot of people don't know is me and William Stillings has been talking on the phone for several hours a night for the last 4 nights, maybe 5 nights, right? And he was asking me, like, what's up? He didn't know I was off the show. And I told him and everything. And then he's like, then I'm not going to do Jeffrey's show. He got a hold of me yesterday and said, he wanted me to go on the show. He goes, I'm not going on then. I told him, no, go on it, man. Do it. Like, there's no reason for you not to go on Jeffrey's show. So tonight he was on Jeffrey's show, and it was a good show. I thought William Stillings did pretty good. He's a good guy. I mean, William Stillings is a really good guy. And I almost was going to have him call. We were on the phone right before I went on tonight. He made me late. I wanted to go on at 7. I didn't go on until 8 because Mr. Stillings was on the phone. But only, you know what? He's important to me. He's a brother. We were talking. And that would go with any one of you guys if just that's the way I am. Like, life doesn't revolve around everything. It revolves around relationships and people and stuff like that. I mean, that's what's important in life, is us, not this stuff, really. So let me see. He says he's on Skype. I'm going to Skype him my number real quick. Let me see. Where's Skype at? Crap. It's somewhere here. I wonder if the sound even comes up. I guess it won't come up if I don't have it on, right? me see. Okay, I got in Skype. I'm gonna type my number in there, but I don't know what it is. So I have to look it up. Feel like a dummy. Don't know your own phone number. But I never know my own phone number. I know everybody else's phone number. I take that back. Since I quit working at the casino, I don't know anybody's phone number. I can't remember anymore. I wish that I could. Because believe it or not, I ran 3 departments in the casino. And I had assistant in each department, right? I had an assistant in each department, and I didn't need them. I didn't even need, like, they give you a calendar. Whoa. Hello? Dang, let me turn that down.
Hello. Can you hear me? Can
Oh,
everybody else hear me?
I think everybody could hear you, I think. Wait, let me turn the volume down a little bit. I don't know where it is here. Oh, okay.
Let me
right
shut
there.
off my fan. I know that's probably background noise. I
Okay.
didn't think I'd get through. Yeah, they're saying they hear us. Sounds
cool.
good.
Right on. Okay.
What's happening, brother?
Not much, man. What happened to your video, man? Did you take it down? I think you did, huh?
I did off my page when everybody was saying they weren't seeing it. So the one video before that got edited by Skype.
Really?
Yeah. So this one they probably didn't even let go out.
No way.
Yeah.
Like, I knew they were gonna, like, do that to you, man. Like,
I had an interesting visit.
Did you? I believe that. I believe that because you've been, like, pulling the door back on the circus tent a lot. And I have a feeling, they were like, shut the door, man.
Well, they just from an event you know about and I know about, and I'm not going to get into on your program.
Right.
On a bodyguard event, I got my picture captured by an idiot piece of shit, and who I was not guarding, and that was the thing they used to be able to say, "Hey, we're looking at you."
Oh.
Yep.
Well, they've been sharing pictures and stuff. Like,
yeah,
it was the man with no name. I hope it isn't that one that you were.
Yep.
It sucks, man.
Yep.
But you know what? They know though. Like,
yeah, they said they knew. They saw the earbud in my ear. They knew I was working.
Yeah.
They wanted to know if I was bodyguarding him, and of course, I would never bodyguard that piece of shit.
Right.
And I hope you don't mind me saying those words, but I mean them. You know how I am.
Nah, you could.
And
you could kick the shit out of that dude if you want to. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I dislike him, and you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you
but
mean.
it did cause problem. You
Yeah.
know? So problem, solution, reaction, right?
Yeah. Well, that just makes me more happy because that means they really are going after these dudes. You know what I mean?
Well, QAnon, I'll tell you this: when people left it, they left because it was infiltrated. Right. Everything gets infiltrated eventually, my friend.
Sure. Yeah, I know. Yeah. In fact, there was like a whole bunch of articles that came out after that said that it wasn't QAnon because the actual vernacular and the way he was saying things changed, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, it was
never been one person. It's never been one person.
Right. But I mean, it was subtle. The change was subtle. And they were using like breadcrumb question type thing.
Right.
And all of a sudden they were doing a narrative, right? And that's whenever it wasn't them, the Q anymore.
Well, just like when I was on, you and I talked about it, and then I went on Jaffe's show, and I told him, because he lives in Korea, what was about to happen. That was months ago.
Right.
And you see it played out exactly as I said it, and I quit using the question mark. I'm just telling people, because questioning, you get idiots like Jerome Corsi and other people trying to interpret the questions, and usually they're wrong. And I said, this is a failure. This is our failure. And, other people decide other things. And at that point, I realized it was infiltrated, and I bounced.
Man, I tell you what, that Corsi guy, if any of you guys are out there listening to Corsi, stop. He is a freaking piece of shit.
Yeah.
And actually, so is Alex Jones. But I already knew that for a long, long time. He's just an actor. And I heard him say that like 5 years ago even. Like...
Alex gets some things right. He does have some good people on. He does have Matt Bracken on, former Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
He does have some good people on. Skousen's on every once in a while. He'll have people on, and they'll even challenge his narrative. I mean, I have to give him fair credit on one thing. He will have people on that disagree with him. He may not like it, but
he does
at least, at least he does it. And
he just goes. I guess if you do it for entertainment, then I could see it. But like sometimes he goes on these long ass rants, and I'm like, what in the hell is he?
That's the irritating thing.
Like, what is he going on about? Like, tell him to stop and interrupting everybody.
Yep. That is the irritating thing, brother. And the other thing that's irritating is his endless. I get why he's doing it. He's trying to make money for his company. He's got people. I mean, Millie Weaver, I think she's honest. I think the guy Owen Schroyer, I think he's honest. I honestly think Bob or Robert or whatever the first guy in the morning is, I think he's honest.
Yeah.
I think Alex tries to be honest, but it's become a business to him.
Well, he admits that he's an actor,
right? Yeah,
and then you got to think about how many lawsuits that dude has, right? I was reading an article where he's getting sued all over the place. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, but that's a part of the shutting you and I talked about, brother. If you remember,
right? But only that'll mess up your bottom line. You know what I mean? Like all the money you think you're making, you're paying your attorney. You know what I mean? Like,
it's lawfare.
Probably, huh? They're probably trying to take him out just by draining him with law fees or whatever, lawyer fees.
Yeah. And then look at what they did to General Flynn for supposed violations of the Logan Act. And me and you talked about this one time.
Yeah. He
had to sell his home because of the lawyer fees of lawfare until an honest judge got involved and said, we're not doing this. This is going to end because I'm seeing what you're doing. And he already had experience with Mueller and Weinstein, who basically put 4 men in prison. 2 of them died in prison for mafia crap. And they withheld exculpatory evidence that would have allowed those men to have not even been sentenced if an honest jury would have been fielded. And so he stepped in for Flynn, but it's still too late. It's lawfare. It's bankrupt you.
Right.
That's what they look at.
Yeah, and they don't care because now you can't fight back and you don't have no life anyway. So they already job done, right? Well done, dude. Well done.
Exactly, brother. You get this stuff, and that's what the whole shutting is. They want to shut your voice down.
Right.
They want to shut my voice down. If we don't stand united, and like I said, I can agree with all your points, but the one thing that we do need to realize, folks, and this is for left and right, I need you to understand this. I don't care what side of the spectrum you're on. But if you're not standing together and allowing all this speech, I love talking with Alan. And Alan probably doesn't agree with me much politically at all. And that's okay.
Yeah.
He's a great man. I'll stand with him toe to toe. And, I'll stand right by him, boot to boot, tight 360.
What do they call it? Back to back, man. I got your back, buddy.
Yeah. And... Yep, exactly. Cold Warrior said when Whitey Bulger was on the loose, and you're exactly right.
Yeah.
honestly, if we don't stand with everybody, and I'm not saying support his show, pay for it or whatever, but what I'm saying is we have to vehemently. You have 8,000 followers, brother. I love that because you deserve that. And the one thing I would say to all your followers, trust me, I don't have that many, and I don't really know if I want that many.
Right, yeah.
But what I do know is
when you
if we
fuck
don't-
up, you hear about it. I know that.
yeah,
Right.
and I like that.
No, I mean
I
like if I fuck up, I get like 4,000 emails. You know what I mean? Like I might not get 4,000 views, but I'll get 4,000 emails. Sometimes 5,000. Just say one wrong thing. You know, I don't get all the attaboys, but boy, do I get the kick in the ass.
And that's a good thing. Honestly, even for me, I want more voices, not less. And that's what I mean, guys. You don't have to support anybody, pay for anything, whatever. I don't ask for anything. I do this for the love. Actually,
Yeah.
my vlog is basically for my son to know me a little better because of all the missing time I've had. Alan knows this, why I did this. And
I'm doing it because of my grandkids are all the way in Indiana.
yeah,
I mean, that's what
There
I
you go.
really was like, so that they could look, turn me on and go, hey man, there's the grandpa, and they do. And I have to watch out. Sometimes I get like talking like a sailor, and my daughter will say, did you have to
grandbabies are
say,
listening.
yeah, did you have to say it like that? Like you said the F word 5 times, she was counting.
Yeah.
But only
Well,
I do it whenever they're in front of me too, so I can't, I'm just being real.
I try to keep it as light as I can. Politics doesn't belong, and I've already, dealt with that issue a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But the beautiful part is, folks, when me and Alan get together, you're getting a real conversation. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna make crap up. But I've pretty much had a very good track record, and Alan will tell you. It's not that I'm a clairvoyant or something. It's because when I get information, I will figure out what I think is relevant to pass and what isn't. And and I'm being an honest broker and put myself out there.
One of the things that you have that I think is really important is, like, you were the fly on the wall for how many years, right? Like, nobody could get in the room. You were guarding the room. There wasn't nobody getting in. So you're like privy to conversations and stuff like that nobody would hear about, and they feel safe to talk about because they're above the law.
Yeah.
Right. At least that's what their theory was, right? And for the longest time, they have been,
Right.
And now all of a sudden their world's falling apart, and you already were the fly on the wall for so many years that no surprises, you know what I mean? Like, there isn't very much that's going to surprise you, and it's pretty easy to figure out what's going on too, and where it's going, and who the players are, right? The actors, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, they're always called actors. I mean,
right.
Just like in warfare, everybody's a belligerent or non-belligerent, and you have different definitions by the laws of land warfare on how to classify belligerents and non-belligerents. So it's an interesting time we live in, folks, and I really do hope that you realize this thing's gone ugly very fast, because the guy that nobody wanted in, both Republican and Democrat, they have a saying in the Air Force back in there, it would have been the Army Air Corps, that when you're getting more flack, that means you're over the target.
Right. Actually, like, they have that for Christians too. Like, when the devil starts attacking you like a moe, that just means that the blessings is around the corner, because you're getting close, Like, when the enemy is coming at you full blast, that means you're about to win. Yeah. They're pulling out all the stops, to and that's what they're doing, man. The government, or I shouldn't say that, but the powers that be, that think they be anyways, are pulling out all the stops. They're trying.
Oh yeah, they're pushing,
Mhm.
and I'm being honest. With me, that was kind of like, really, you guys have been on my page for a while, I'm very sure, and they're like, yeah, and to see them with the file and talking to me, I was like, yeah, but I'm not gonna change.
Did that have
You
anything
know,
to do with the phone call that we were talking about?
I don't know about no, 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 no. What it had to do with, a buddy of mine's going through a nasty divorce,
Mm-hmm.
and his wife is probably the one who turned him on to the picture, and then made a complaint. And of course, they have to verify the complaint, but that verification is what gave them the authorization to come visit me.
Right.
See what I'm saying? See how that works?
Uh-huh.
Because she found out that my wife, me, and my son, he's on disability, and he barely has a pot to piss in. And she went from being an amicable divorce where everything was fine to getting lawyers involved, and he couldn't afford lawyers, and we stepped up. And we funded it, and he said who funded it, and she went after me. I know where it came from, man. I know where the bullets flew from.
Right.
And because nobody else would have given a crap about it.
Right.
So because that everybody who knows me knows my beliefs and my thoughts, and they wouldn't have done that.
Man,
So
I hate nasty divorces. I mean, I never had a divorce, but I've watched some pretty nasty breakups, man. In fact, I think I was talking about it today with my wife, that some relatives, they almost use the kids like weapons, and
yep.
it's so sad to see the push me pull you, where they're trying to use the kids as weapons against each other, and both of them get hurt, right?
Right.
But only they're all worried about how they got hurt, and they didn't even see the pure destruction of the kid.
The devastation.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, I only see that, right? I don't even give a crap about those guys, but I'm looking at what is left of the child's mentality, and I'm like, oh my God, you guys, knock off that crap.
I agree, brother. It saddens my heart. I'm always able to be honest with you. I think that, I hope that never changes. That I feel this way. It's a joy whenever we're together and talk, and I don't mind when people get a eavesdrop into our little conversations. But this is one of those where, since I was 17, I'm gonna be 50.
Right.
So that's 33 years.
Yeah.
And you still have to come by and talk to me about this. I get it. I understand it on one level, but on another level, and they said, well, we know you were working, but this is the incident, and this is what happened, and this is a complaint, and we have to follow through. And I was like, yeah, but I also understand the underlying effect of what they did. That was just saying, hey, we're listening, we're watching. Oh, by the way, what's your phone number?
Oh, on mine? Oh, let me.
No. That was their question to me. And by the way, what's your phone number?
Oh, I see. Ah.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't find out
point.
in the first place.
No, they couldn't. No, because, yeah.
I know. Well, I mean, I thought, heck, they can know anybody's phone number if they want to, if they...
Yeah, it takes an extra step to figure that stuff out if
Right.
we do what I have always told people to do.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that'll probably change too soon.
Yeah, well, It's the times we live in. It's going to be, hopefully, I still think we're winning, you know.
We are, and I mean this, folks. I don't care what your religion, race, whatever it is, and you'll probably hear all kinds of bad stuff about me. But in all honesty, you have to stand together on the left and the right and realize we are America, and we stand for the idea and the ideal America. And that's freedom, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness for all.
So that's the thing, that what you just said is what is the snowflakes are missing.
Yes.
They want to fight. First, they want the right, but they want to fight the right for the other person. You know what I mean? Like you're not allowed to say whatever you want, but we can say whatever we want, but you can't say whatever. But it doesn't work like that. It works like we let them say whatever they want, and we get to say whatever we want, and that's freedom of speech. But soon as one person can't talk freely, then you're losing that freedom.
Yes.
You know? And I mean, like when I was over in Ghana in this one city, these dudes were saying, the walls have ears, right? The walls have ears. The walls have ears. You know, I didn't know what the hell the walls have ears. You know, like, what are you talking about? And, you know, one day I was outside away from the walls, but really it was away from people.
Right.
And, you know, I was talking to the guy and the one that was saying the walls have ears the night before. And I told him, what do you mean, man? The walls have ears. What are you talking about? And he said, you know, like right here is a safe place. I think I can tell you, you know, like over here, he goes, over where you live, you can say whatever you want, because you could talk about your president. You can say whatever you want, right? He goes, you Americans can do anything. He goes, over here, your brother will turn you in.
Mm-hmm.
And they get like a reward if you're talking against the president and stuff like that, right? And he said that everyone that's near you, even though they might be a relative or a best friend, could turn you in.
Right. And
the soldiers will come and torture families if they hear of anything, so that it makes them want to turn people in, right? Like I'm saving my family by turning you in, you know, stuff like that. And I mean, I was like, whoa, you know. Then we went through a police checkpoint like 2 days later, and I watched them drag 2 people out of a truck to the side of the road and shoot them in the head. And then that is when it sunk into my mind what exactly he was saying. Like that police checkpoint every 20 miles, that wasn't there in case there was immigration problems or something like that, right? That was keeping tabs on their very own people, is what it was.
Here's the thing: a Cold Warrior may understand this. Back in the day, when there was a wall up in Europe, and the East Germans, Stasi, that was their intelligence agency, you know, the state security agency, and they had something called disintegration. Okay, and what that means is they will basically screw your life up. You'll be a pariah, and they may take you to a prison and torture you. They had those, but it's even worse than that. They will make you unhireable. They will make you a pariah in your own community, and they will make husband and wife turn against each other because of, think if this sounds familiar, folks, see something, say something. It's an indoctrination that you've been going through.
The political correctness.
Yeah,
like where everybody's policing each other.
I believe you and I talked about this. A lot of people, when you talk about political correctness, they'll say, well, Bill Clinton started that. And I'm like, no, people forget George H.W. Bush's 1,000 points of light speech.
Yeah.
That was, and there's positivity to this, so don't think I'm going on negative, folks. I'm not. But his 1,000 points of light speech, he talked about a more kinder, gentler, more politically correct society. That was the first time that was put into the lexicon of America. And then you see what the Alinskyeites have put in to the colleges through the humanities and the indoctrination of social justice warriors, which is nothing more than cultural Marxist. We have become the Marxists.
Yeah.
And that's what they didn't. The neocons have been on the same program as the progressive cons. I see no difference between the two. And they're both, one will run to Marxism, the other one will walk to socialism. And it matters not. And honestly, on the political spectrum, folks, if you disagree with me, I'm fine with that. We're not going to argue over this. I don't want to argue. But just support the left and the right. I don't care how far left you are. You could be whatever. And I don't care how far right you are. You could be whatever. But the only fix to this, there's only one way to dial back the tensions that have been created by this government. And that is through conversation. Don't shut any voices down.
Right.
Don't shut any voices down. Because we don't need this shutting.
Right.
And anyway, sorry, Alan. I know I took up. Give me a second. You go on and answer me, but I'm gonna have to step away for a second. And I'll mute my mic, brother.
Man, dude, you don't even have to worry about calling in and saying anything. I was just only talking about right now at the thing about is I want to be in the zone with everyone, and that means talking about everything and everyone, and if it means like you got to come on or you want to come on and talk with me and chat with me, then I'm open, and I'm not going to be arguing with people. Everybody's opinion matters. You know, I am not sad or I don't feel hijacked or anything, man. I respect, at first, I respect your, what you did for the country and what you did for us. As serving our country. And second, I respect you because you speak your mind no matter, I don't care what it is. A lot of people don't. They just parrot, you know. And I don't like parrots or apes, you know. They ape people. They what do you call it?
Right.
Mimic, right?
Mimic, yeah.
I don't like mimics. I like people that have a brain, and even if it isn't the most intelligent one, but they have their own idea, their own opinion, their own everything, and they don't want to stifle the person to where it takes our rights away, right? They can say whatever they want because they have the right, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
But only when they have, like, they're talking about other people's stuff, and they use it and they call it theirs, but you know it's not. You know,
right.
They don't really have a brain, right? They're
sad.
just, you know, they're just parroting what they heard somebody say they thought sounded good, you know. And when you hit them with it, when you finally, you know, like put your foot down and try to argue with them, they can't argue because they don't know why, or they don't know the reason they believe anything, you know. And that's how a lot of these snowflaker people are. They have no idea. When you start hitting them with facts and reasons and stuff like that, they don't know what to say. They just lash out in anger, you know. It's like, oh, come on, you know. Like I thought you were smart, but now I just lost all respect, you know. But
what was old Abe Lincoln's old quote? It's better be quiet and thoughtful than open your mouth and remove all doubt.
Right.
Cold Warrior brought up this, brother. I'm looking at it right now. In China, your social media score can ruin or destroy your credit and make you unemployable and ruin your life. And that's today. And that's also happening in America right now. And that's something that folks,
Man, they'll never make California. It's not going to be no independent state.
No,
I
would
mean, a lot of the people that are far left think that they're the majority or something like that. But really, what they did is they shut everyone up.
Yes.
The other people just got tired of fighting them. You know what I mean? So they just shut up. Right now, they just vote. So you watch, man. You watch when the vote happens. Like, I got a Devin Nunes sign in my yard. I don't argue with people in California, but I got a Devin Nunes sign in my yard. Like, you watch what happens. They're gonna freaking tie Brown to a rail and tar and feather his butt and throw him in the ocean. I mean, that, like, watch out what happens, man.
I'm looking at what's happening right now with Maxine Waters' district, Navarro. I think he's going to sweep the floor with her.
Yeah.
And she's as corrupt as they come. I hate talking to other people in another state about their politics because you know it better than I do. But
it's
but
pretty sad here.
her comic cavalcade, I think, is about to go to an end, and you know, it's become real, folks. And
well, I was just talking to William Stillings, and probably for like an hour, from 7 to around 8, and he doesn't have one good thing to say about Maxine Waters. I mean, he can't quit talking about it. And he lives down, I guess it's Hemet or somewhere down in Southern California where she's at, somewhere down there. And oh my God, man. When he was on Jeffrey's show, Jeffrey wanted him to talk about the secret space program and all this kind of stuff. He don't really want to talk about that. He wants to talk about like Maxine Waters and what's going on politically in California. And you know, he's right. They're out of here, man. People had it. I'm serious. People have had it. And the thing is, the people that have had it, they're not a lot of talk.
Yeah.
But the people that are a lot of talk, you know, what is it? Talk just walks, and you know, his bullshit walks, and cash talks. Like these dudes are actions, you know, speak louder than words. You watch what happens, you know what I mean? Like these guys are gonna be out, and you're not gonna hear a big old giant demonstration or anything from the people that are voting them out. They're just gonna quietly go in and vote them out, and it's gonna be over. And then when all these people start raising a big stink, they better watch it. You know, like these quiet people are going to say, did you see what just happened? You know, like, you better shut up, you know. Like, you thought you were the one that was running the country? Oh, well, you know, we'll see about that.
An interesting comment from Fasten01 at Cold Warrior, because he said who I was, and she said, seems I've heard his voice before, but I have no idea. Well, probably on Jeffrey's show with you, and him, and even one time without you, and you know, I had no idea that had happened when that occurred. And so you probably have heard my voice before. You know, these men, they're doing their thing, and Alan's my brother. He's my first contact I had during this time. And I'm sorry, I don't know what WWG1 WWGA is, but
where we go one, we go all.
Oh, okay. It's one of those things that good night, Melissa gives us. Anyways, there's something afoot in the landscape right now. Art Bell used to talk about the quickening, and everybody now is talking about the things that everybody else right now is talking about, these things where it's a Mandela effect. I know Cold Warrior talked about it.
Yeah.
I know a bunch of people have talked about this. the thing is, this is the quickening. Have you ever noticed time for even when you're not having fun?
Well, I have a feeling they're
There is
Mandela
something going
affecting
on.
you, man. They're all of a sudden you went in underwater. They're Mandela affecting your Wi-Fi all of a sudden. At least I think it's yours. I
Yeah,
don't
well,
know
who
if it's
cares about
mine.
that?
You know. Well, I know, but only nobody heard
Maybe
what.
they are, maybe they're not.
Yeah, we can't hear it. We can't understand what you're saying.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's
Here's
garbled.
the thing.
But, you know.
Wow, like that.
Yeah, but only I mean you're getting better.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
All right, cool. Here's thinking. There's a quickening happening, and it's going to affect people that are nobodies. I'm nobody in a lot of ways, but it's affecting us all, and we're noticing it. And it's not good to notice things, and they don't like where we went with things. So, you can't. You're not allowed to talk of certain things, I believe. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, like I know exactly what you're talking about. Like right now, you're allowed to talk about just about anything, but don't you dare say Jesus, right?
Right.
I mean,
right.
don't you dare say that. But only the book that talks about him and his return we're living in it right now. In fact, if you read the book, the last book that says there's a blessing to read that book, for any person that reads that book, there's a blessing. Right. We're living in near the end of that book, and Trump has a lot to do with waking people up about that when he made Jerusalem the capital, where he recognized, the United States recognizes Jerusalem as the capital for us, right? Not the whole world, just us. But man, did it piss off the whole world, right?
Yes, it did.
Now, like, just to go in with that, the other day when they started talking about this, like Syria fired off 10 missiles at Israel.
Yeah.
All right. Four of them got taken out by the Iron Dome, I think they call it, something like that, right? Yeah. The other 6 didn't hit Israel either, but they weren't taken out by the Iron Dome. They hit Syria.
Right.
Okay. None of them landed in Israel. Well, everybody's like, well, who took out the last 6? You tell me, right?
Yeah.
And if you read the book, you'll find out that there's going to come a time when they're going to be so overpowered, that Israel's going to be so overpowered that God's going to come in and wipe out everyone that goes against Israel that is right around them, right there. And there's going to be nobody raised a finger, right?
Right.
He's going to do it. And then everybody's going to know that he's real. That's what the book says, because nobody did anything. You know what I mean? He did it. And there'll be no other reason but him. And I swear, if the world isn't awake by then, they will wake up then.
I hope. I hope. The difference in my thought process is, you look at something that in my lifetime, and multiple lifetimes. I was fortunate to have been into Korea when the first dictator, before he died, and then the second dictator was alive during my time, and then now Kim Jong-un, the grandson, is the one who's suing for peace.
Right.
And people don't understand, if you haven't served in Korea, that step across the DMZ, and you could see it, and when you look at their lips and you see how they're talking, Moon and Un, when you see how they're talking, they're calling each other brothers,
right? Because
the hermit kingdom has always been that way. And I do believe there is Fastenal, One, there is a great awakening.
Mm-hmm.
And that great awakening, I think, is happening globally, but it's because of this tension stress dichotomy that they've kept us. Yep, Kim Jong's mentally ill son. You're right, Cold Warrior. But he's mentally ill, but look what he did. And that great awakening, as I see it, this stress tension thing that's been going on for so long, Trump's undoing it. And that's why he's getting so much flack from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I'm a fanboy for Trump. He's done some bad things, like lobbing missiles into Syria. I disagreed with that because anybody, even a plebe on geopolitics, would know that that was set up by the white helmets who are Soros funded.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, this whole dichotomy is rigged.
Yeah.
And so the reality is he did what he had to do. But I did notice with those attacks, he didn't really hit major places and kill a lot of people. But remember, the last 8 years, I'm pretty good at killing people.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He's never killed anybody. He had others do his killing for him.
Well, he's like sneaky like a fox, if you notice. Like, he's like, have you ever seen that movie? Man, it's the one with The Rock, and he goes in the jungle to go get that guy. You know, and he has to go, what do they call it? The rundown.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Trump's like the kid that in the rundown that he's running down, and he's like, ooh, and he's shaking his foot, right? You see that? Oh, watch out for this one, right? And then hit him with the other side. That's Trump.
Yep.
He's like, whoa, you know, don't look now, whoa. And then all of a sudden you get popped with the right hand, you know, and they're not even looking for it. You know what I mean? But it didn't work for the dude in the movie, but it's working for Trump pretty good.
Yeah, well, yeah. Raymond Kistner said in this comment, I'm giving him a shout out, in South Korea, they elected a left-leaning Bill Clinton type leader who could be influenced by Kim Rocketman. And I would agree with you if that was... Here's what you maybe aren't thinking about. The KCIA sent people over there first, and they are very efficient at what they do. Then you also have to think about, we sent Pompeo over there. And when that happened, you know, right now what you're seeing, I believe the tension stress, just to answer your question, is because it's even affecting the elites. And when you saw Kim Jong-un's motorcade cross the DMZ, you saw how they had to do it. And you also saw people from the south coming back south and people from the north going back north, the security teams.
Right.
And so these things are real. And so there's been a dialogue for a while.
Well, I think he freed everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's this world regime that we call the Illuminati or whatever. And they have a grip on every country, and they make every country do their bidding, even our country. Right. And that's what Trump's getting rid of in our country. But I think he freed these guys. Like, he went in and he took the handcuffs off, and he took the big dog that was holding him back, you know, like barking at him and threatening him and stuff. I think he took that away from both sides, South Korea and North Korea. And I think he's working on it in the Middle East too. I think that's what they're doing, is they're kicking out the big bad dogs, you know, that are the guard dogs holding everybody at bay and locked up. Soon as they have freedom to make up their own mind and make their own decisions, you watch, it'll be more towards peace and tranquility and no rockets. You know what I mean? Like, they don't really want that. I don't think anybody does. I think that they're being manipulated for profit and all that. And Trump, I think, knew the game a long time ago, and and was talked into going in, and they knew that they couldn't buy him. And he knows the game. He already went to all the parties. He's been to all of them. You know what I mean? He knows all the inside stuff. So
he knows the players.
Yeah, he doesn't need to learn. There's no learning curve for him. He already knows. Like when he talks about that buying lobbyists, he's like, sure. He goes, I was a bad guy. He goes, actually, I was the best. I bought the lobbyists. I made the little congressmen, pushed them around and did whatever I want. I used to do that. He goes, but I know the game and I know the players.
Here's an interesting thing. This is the last thing on that week, and I'll tell you why. Raymond Kistner, I see your comments, and hold on, everybody's quick typing. Let me finish this, brother. Kim's family, it's a 10-year deal. They're not going to do a fast reunification like West and East Germany did, because it almost bankrupted West Germany. Okay, it's a 10-year thing. I understand all your thing, but you forget that communism hasn't existed on the Korean continent for a while. It's juche, which is just survival. Mm-hmm. Okay, and now James G. Davison said a comment, and he said, let's hear some paranormal stories. I'll tell him a paranormal story.
Wait, they got one, man. Did you know that Elvis is alive?
Yeah, of course he always is. But yeah, no, I'll tell a funny paranormal story, and it's a real deal.
Hey, my wife believes it. Don't tell her he doesn't. No.
Yeah. Anyways, here's what I'm saying. Kistner, I get your comments, but I don't think you see the whole geopolitical thing. Cold Warrior, I think, is more correct.
Well, look at his name, Cold Warrior. He's been around the block.
I mean, he's probably from my era.
Yeah.
But here's a paranormal story, James G. Davidson. This will blow you away. I've told it before. I don't think on either Jeffrey or your show.
Cool.
This is me in Okinawa, Japan. I had went to we used to get runs to what was called PWR, Pre-Position War Reserve. And that was stuff in case Korea broke off into a war or something. And this was on Camp Kenser, Marine Corps base. Anyways, it's down by, why am I mind dumping the name of the town? It'll come to me. Anyways, I hate when that happens.
Old timers
It was
disease,
the capital
man.
of Okinawa. That's the name of the towns.
Old timers disease. Old timers disease.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh man, I got it bad.
Yeah, but me too, bro. But anyways, yeah, okay. Anyways, so here's what I do see. I get a call to an alarm. The security guys that are there at PWR are freaked out. There's a black guy and a white guy. I go up, man, as a military policeman. And I'm looking at these dudes, and the black guy's like ash gray. If you've ever seen a dude that's seasick who's black, or if they're really scared, they'll turn this weird, or if they're dead, they'll turn this weird ash gray color. I can't describe it. And the white guy's just pale. It's like all the lifeblood sucked out of him. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? They're like, ghost. And I'm like, huh? And I'm thinking somebody broke in and these guys are doing whatever, right? So I go walking in, you know how I am. I'm looking and I'm going between the big wooden crates and boxes. And during Vietnam, this place was used to store dead bodies coming back from Vietnam. It was a major big cooler, but they also had, like major coolers for refrigeration of food in there too. And so as I go in there, I turn a corner and I see a half of a person from the hips up, and it perfectly formed in like a smoke. I can't really describe it other than that. And it like turned from sideways and looked at me, and then turned around and walked through, and this is no crap, walked through, and I'll get to that as I get to it. he walked through this cooler, the freezer thing where we stored food and whatnot for PWR, and I go running down there, man. As I go through where he was at, it was ice cold. I'll never forget. In Okinawa, anybody who's been there knows how hot that place is and humid. And it was like bone cold. And I opened that freezer door, the little latch type doors for a walk-in freezer. And this thing looked at me and disappeared.
Whoa.
And that's a ghost story. So there's some paranormal for you.
Damn.
So anyways, there it is. So
have you have you had any of those kind of stories when you were over there, like in the Garden of Eden or by the Garden of Eden?
I just, like I said the one time, the cool thing about Iraq was, I always knew that somewhere that thin veil I've crossed through where angels guard it. So it was pretty cool thinking about it. I'm done talking politics now, Raymond. Sorry, man. I've screwed up his program, and I didn't mean to get all deep into this, and I'm not going to do it now. But
you didn't mess nothing up, man. Yeah. I already been on here like over 2 hours talking Bigfoot and stuff like that.
So, I just got a complaint that I saw from James. And
you came in, and I was almost ready to like jump out, So no biggie at all. No biggie at all. In fact, I encourage it. Like I encourage anyone, call in, man. They don't, and we have all kinds of things that we could talk about. And right now, we'd be kind of like foolish not to admit that what is going on is paranormal, supernatural.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It is.
What is going with the Trump thing and the government and all that, that is freaking paranormal, supernatural.
It truly is supernatural. And that's the thing that I was trying to be honest, but I see something happening that I've not seen in my almost 50 years, and it's positive. And I didn't want to sound like Debbie Downer. And I also hopefully Raymond Kisner does not think I was talking down to him.
Well, I've actually been worried that only I know that they know, you know what I mean? Like they know you work, they already know what your job is, they could check you out and everything. They already know what your orders were, where you went, the whole thing. But only I was just worried they might mess with you. You know what I mean? Like not the good guys, the bad guys.
Oh, that's what this was. These were good guys,
I know.
But it was a signal.
Right.
So, the only reason I don't talk about certain things anymore is I'm not going to have another brother who's still alive blow his brains out over it.
Right, exactly.
And that's a fact. I won't do that again. It's a fact. And I've already lost one brother because I opened my big fat fucking mouth, and I'll never do that again.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was you so much. I mean, most people I know, like I had 5 friends try to commit suicide. 3 did it, okay? One of them did it with me on the phone.
Right.
And 2 of them I talked out of it. But only they're already, like, it didn't matter what you were doing. They already were ready. You know what I mean? That isn't something you just jump to, No,
I mean, I've been close to it before. You know this. We've talked offline. I'm not going to lie and act like I'm some supernatural dude.
Well, I have too, you get so much in pain and then every day you suffer it. Like right now I got a fan blowing on me and I'm in shorts. I know nobody can see that part, right? But only it feels like there's a freaking flamethrower on my leg, this fan. It feels good all on the rest of my body though. You know what I mean? I would be sweating bullets. But only I almost can't take the fan on my leg anymore. And it used to be where I would think that's not worth living. You know what I mean? Because I'll go to bed and it'll still be burning by morning, Yep. And when I would get up, I would be like, you know what? I can't be the guy that married my wife. I can't be the grandpa that I wanted to be. I can't be the dad. I can't do even the things I want to do. And it's if you dwell on it long enough, you start talking yourself into this dark
Yes.
place, right?
Yes.
I mean, but it takes a while to get there. It isn't something you just jump to, you know what I mean?
Right.
And you have to actually start talking yourself out of that dark place and telling yourself, there is reasons to be here. You know what I mean? There's some reasons to be here, and you start telling yourself, and you reaffirm everything and the reasons, and every time you go to the dark place, like, no, it's not that bad. It will change. Tomorrow will be a different day, and you just keep doing it, and you'll come out of it. And that's in my heart when I talk to people that like have my disease. It's the suicide disease, and the other worst one of suicide is actually veterans.
Yep.
Coming
22
back
a day.
Yeah, coming back all messed up. It's those are the highest suicide rates, and they just need somebody to be there and help them every single day to talk to them about the difference. Like tomorrow's going to be different. It's not going to be the same as today. Maybe tomorrow might be the same, but the day after, the one thing you could count on forever is change. Right.
The change, and I'll tell you, this is a dark place, but I'll take you there and I'll show you the light.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we ever discussed this. One night, and of course it was me and a bottle of moonshine. The dumb hillbilly drinks moonshine, right? Okay.
Plays banjo? No.
Yeah. I drank the whole bottle over a night.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So you didn't die from that?
Oh, no.
Jeez, that would kill you.
I was sipping it all day, sipped it all night. The little bit that was left, my wife dumped down the sink, and I still have the bottle. I told her, don't you throw that away. And I'm banned from drinking hard alcohol because of this, and I'm glad I won't do that again.
Right.
But here's how it ensued. And I don't remember certain portions. It's been filled in by my wife and my son. But you know how I am and what I carry and, all this stuff. But it wasn't a gun. I remember looking up on the internet. It was shortly after I did that one interview. And I was living with it. And anyways, I had this little, it's like a scalpel kind of knife. Anyways, I'd
like an
studied
X-Acto
on
blade, something like that.
Yeah, similar, but it's a scalpel.
Uh-huh.
And I had looked at how to cut the carotid artery so it's unmanageable.
Uh-huh.
And I got angry, and I have no idea why, but I was angry at myself most than anything. And this is before Chief blew his brains out. So, like I said, the sun came out the next day. But luckily, my son, he's now a Marine, he was behind me and disarmed me. But when he did, he cut my hand, and that's fine.
Right, yeah.
And, I guess it bled. But the next day, my wife's like, you got to go. And, we're going on 26 years now. And you know how many years ago that was? I told you I thought about it. When I thought about it, I think I've been honest about this stuff.
Right. You got to be honest, though.
And
always.
The thing is, I remember how dark my mind was. But I was going to do it in front of my wife and my son.
Oh, wow.
And that shame. And I don't know why I don't care these people are listening, and that's okay. But that's an honest story too.
Well, I'm glad.
I don't know any other way to be with you, brother.
See, I'm
honest.
glad that you decided to stick around.
Yeah.
Like the one guy. There was one guy the one that committed suicide on the phone with me. He ate a bunch of pills, right? And pretty soon he was slurring and everything. Well, he didn't die on the phone. I thought he did. He just passed out. And
Right.
then the next while he was slurring and everything, he was telling me if the pills didn't work, he had an alternative plan.
Right.
And what he did was he took the bullets out of a 22 cartridge, dumped half the powder out.
Right.
That way, when he shot himself in the head, he didn't leave a big mess for his family to find. Right? It would just go in, bounce around, scramble his brain up, and kill him. But it wouldn't leave like brains all over the floor and all that stuff, and all over the wall. And I'm trying to talk him out of it and talk him out of it. And then finally, he is not talking back.
Right.
It's just silence. And I don't know what to do. Right. And he told me, don't call the police, whatever you do, because he might wake up because he just ate pills. And I'm thinking, after about a half an hour, I'm like, oh man, like I didn't know what to do. So I just went to sleep and didn't call the police. I got up the next morning and my email was binging, and it was back when you have mail, and
Yeah.
it said I have mail, and I open it up and here he is, man. He's cussing up a blue streak because he has a hangover from the pills and it didn't work, right? And then he's like, He goes, I'm going to call you. So then he called me, but I wouldn't answer the phone then. It was like,
Right.
he already freaked me out bad enough. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to do it on the phone with me on the phone. I already thought you did. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'm already freaking out. You're not going to do it again.
Right.
So then, the next morning I get up and it's got, you got mail, I'm like, oh, wow. I guess he tried again. So I open up the email, only this time it's his family in his email. And they told me what they found, right? And his second plan worked. Okay, but I don't blame the guy. I mean, he was 73. He has the same disease I do. He was stuck in a chair, a recliner chair. And he, like a week before, he got up and went to the bathroom and he fell down in the bathroom. And it was 9.5 hours before somebody found him. And he was just laying on the floor, right? And that was like the third or fourth time that happened. And I kept on telling him, get that little button, life alert or whatever, I fall and I can't get up, like do that, And he's like, no, he was a vet, Vietnam veteran, too proud, right? Too proud. And he was like, he said, that's it, I'm done. But he didn't leave a mess for his family. They said that he ate the 22, but it just went in his brain. It didn't, come out the back.
Scrambled him.
Yeah. And he was just laying there. They didn't even know he was dead, until they really looked. So, I mean, like, it didn't leave a big mess or anything. So he knew exactly what he was doing, But he's just one of the ones I couldn't talk it out of, but only some people like you're lucky that God intervened, man. It was God intervened and sent your son in there and disarmed you and stuff. Otherwise, you probably would not be sitting here.
Exactly.
It's like a miracle, really.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
It's a blessing, and I gotta give a shout out to Raymond and Sam. I'm seeing what you're writing. Look, I know it's a good group. I don't care where my story goes. I probably will never talk about it again. I'm doing this openly because there's something more important than me. It's my brothers and my sisters that I've been to war with numerous times, and
man, I have to apologize. For some reason, I have this thing that brings out.
Well, you're my brother. I can talk to you about anything, and I do not mind anybody listening in.
I know, but only I'll cry too. You know what I mean? Like, for some reason, I got this thing. Like, I don't know what it is. People I hang with, we really get like deeply emotional and stuff, and I'll be crying and you'll be crying, and this happens all the time with me. I don't know about you, but man,
Yeah,
and here we are even on the internet, and here we are, who would have thought, no?
we're out, we're proud.
Yeah. But only we're being real, really.
People. We're
Yeah.
imperfect people, and that's okay.
Well, I've cried on here like a bunch of times, and especially like the people that I have that follow me and stuff like that. Like, I don't even think of it as followers. They're like, I don't know, my friends,
our
they're,
family.
yeah, they're like family, really. I mean, they support me a lot, and just only the support. When I think about it, I'll be driving in the car just thinking about it and break out in tears. I just, it means something to me. And then but only the thing is, I've hung with other people or been with other people, and it was all about the fame and the viewers and the views and the, all this stuff,
That's not what it's about.
Only really I think they had it all wrong. They're after the same thing I'm after, really, is the family. They want to have all the people and be everything, and have family, but the problem is they're not focused to the actual people they're after. Their intentions and focus is on them, you know what I mean? And so they wind up saying words like I and me and I and me and it's like, after a while I can't even sit with that person. It's like, dude, if you say I one more time, this beer can is going to hit you upside the head, like I just can't take it. But I think they actually have their focus wrong. If they want a real audience, I think the ones that have, you look on here and they have a bazillion viewers and stuff like that, they're just real people being real.
Right.
And I never thought of it, and I'm not chasing viewers or anything. I'm just saying, if you are, be real, and you'll get the viewers.
Yeah. I'm not ashamed of any of the content I've ever produced, and I'm never gonna hide behind anything or be a fraud. This. I've never shut down stuff that I could shut down.
Yeah.
But it was a phase that I had to do for a reason, and that reason, and it was important at that time, and I'll pay the consequences for that. Here's the thing: before.
I'm all happy. What I'm all happy about, man?
What's that, brother?
I can't believe it that the Skype worked.
I
how many times have I asked you, like, how did you do the Skype? And then you just call on Skype and it worked. I didn't even test it or nothing. It worked. I'm like, what? And it just dawned on me. I was looking at the picture like, hey, I'm Skyping. Whoa. Okay, I'm blown away.
You think about how many times we just go on and on all night long. These people have not heard us.
No, now they are, though.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a friendship, a brotherhood that was quite accidental, and you know that. Yeah,
it was.
It was something that was built by you.
Yeah.
With me. And that's, anyways. So.
Yeah, but you know what? I like gravitate to good people. And I think the good people gravitate back. You know what I mean? The bad people can't hang, and they start saying bad things, and then they leave.
Yeah.
But only they'll get with some bad person, and then they'll want to be a troll, and the poor person that's not being a good person will get trolled and trolled and trolled, and they'll be going, I hate trolls. Well, if you quit being a troll.
Then don't be one.
Yeah, if you quit being a troll, man, I think you would quit being trolled. But you never know. Like, some people just like to troll, but I don't know.
Well, I'm seeing a lot where people are saying they like our stories, learn a lot from you two. That was James G. Davidson and Raymond Kistner. Look,
we've talked about that too. We have.
Yes,
we've sat and talked about it for a couple hours. Like, maybe, you know what? If we just did this, maybe it might be a good show.
Yeah, and we're doing it now. So you guys are are eavesdropping on our private conversation, which I welcome.
Yeah, me too.
It's a joyous thing. It shouldn't be. You know, I laid to rest a good man. My aunt by marriage, her father,
Aw.
and I was there. You know, he was a former Marine, but you'll love this. Think about my family line and what I've done.
Mhm.
He was Army Air Corps in World War II, and then Korea kicked off. And what did he do? He joined the damn Marines.
Right on.
Uh, so I mean, we at one time in Army Basic, I was 17, and we were all joking and talking. And this is, you know, how basic training is. Everybody, you know, the blacks, whites,
Yeah.
Koreans, whatever, Hispanics, it matters not. But the funniest part was we all had one thing in common: family served.
Right, yeah.
Period. And
Yeah, and you
so,
were about to become family and you didn't even know it at
well, we
that
didn't know
time,
that. But the
Yeah.
interesting thing is, family had
Mm,
served.
right.
And I was like, well, there's no caste system in the U.S. And then we're talking, and as we were talking, this is in the 80s, man. And this cat said something that stuck with me and sticks with me to my life to this day because it's proven true. He said, yes, there is a caste system. It's in the military. Um, the military will only get uh, people whose family has served. And it's true, there is a caste system.
Oh yeah, really there is, huh?
Yeah.
Like you're even
And
part of it now, your son.
yeah, my uncles,
Well,
my,
it ended in my generation. I didn't go.
right, but there was an
Yeah.
issue. I mean, we've talked about that. You don't have to
Yeah.
talk about that here, but yeah, there, you know, you would have. I
Well,
know you
I
would.
went to sign up and I took the
Yeah.
test, and I could have went nuclear, like been
Mhm.
anything I want, but only I met a girl. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I met a girl, and I was going in buddy system with my buddy. He went, and I stayed because I met a girl, and we were actually like 17, and we were having our parent. My dad was a Marine major,
Yeah.
and he was gonna let me go. You know, like
Yeah.
sign me. You know, you want to go, son? This will teach you everything, and like you'll come out a man. You know, that's what he's telling me. All this stuff. You know,
Yeah.
so you know he was ready to sign me, but I met this really nice chick, and for some reason I thought that if I went, that it wouldn't last. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
when I came back, that wouldn't be there, and I don't want to lose that, right?
Yeah.
So 40 years later, whatever, 43 years later,
Yep.
that chick's still here. You know, I'm like still hanging with the same chick. You know, and so
I do. I get it because
I don't regret not going because of that, but I regret like that is really what my goal was. You know what I mean? I really wanted to. I still went
right.
in law enforcement and did all that, and
Right. Right.
so I mean, like I did my part that way, but only I didn't get to go. I really wanted to travel and go all over the place though, and I wanted to be
But
a
you
pilot.
have.
You know.
But you
Oh yeah, I
have.
still
That's
did. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I
That's
still have. Yeah.
the coolest thing to me is like I went in the military, you know, 17, and I figured the Army and the Marine Corps both, because as a military policeman, I saw domestic violence and what happened with other people, and I was like, yeah, if the military wanted me to have a wife, they'd issue me one. Then I go into the National Guard, and I meet my wife. This is no joke. Our first date, you're gonna laugh. We named my son. We knew we were gonna have one boy. We knew his name
Way before it
on the
even
first
happened,
date.
right? You guys
And
are
3 months later, we're getting married, and my one cousin's like, "You got her pregnant," and I'm like, "No." 3 years later, we had my son, and it was I I hold her in high esteem as she should be. The people who are on here who are on my page on on, and they know who they are, Connie and the other
Mhm.
people. They know how I think about my wife and my life, and just like with you, I mean, there can't be fraud because first off, I don't think you and I are capable of. I mean, I am when I'm in the game when I'm doing
Well,
my business.
everybody is, man. You
Yeah,
have to survive sometimes because everybody's sharks out there in the world, man. They're ready to eat you up, and you have to have a little bit in you, otherwise you get eat up. You know.
no, that's true. But I mean, I'm saying with like the people on my, if they get on my page, they're trusted,
Right? Yeah.
and
Well,
I'll,
when you were talking about your wife, that reminded me like when you said, "Oh, you got her pregnant," you know. And no, it happened 3 years. I think that was like one of the most important things that we did as a couple was
yes,
we decided. I mean, we were young, you know, and we were like everybody was telling us, you know what, it doesn't work when you're really that young. You know, it doesn't work. It never
right,
lasts. Everybody was giving us all the bad, you know,
yeah,
bad stuff. So it was like, okay, we're not going to have kids then till after 4 years or something like that. And we didn't. We traveled. We went all over the
right,
place. Went and had fun and did all this stuff. And then after 4 years, it was like, you know what? It seems like this ain't gonna change. You know what I mean? Like I still feel the same way as I did 6 years ago when I first met you. And I think I want to have some babies, with you. And best thing we ever did, you know. In fact, it was Mother's Day yesterday, and we've raised so many kids, man. I mean, like 3 kids of our own, and then 3 foster kids, and numerous friends, kids that were friends of our kids that parents, they didn't care about their kids, had problems, and they really didn't have a home life or anything. So they were always at our house all the time. I mean, like always, and made the other parents jealous. But you know what? They're like our kids, right? And their kids are like our grandkids and everything. And man, my wife was like in heaven yesterday, getting phone calls, and today she got her a coffee mug, sent to her that was all custom made and everything from my daughter.
nice.
Oh yeah, she was like in heaven, man. And it was fun watching it. I'm getting goosebumps, but I mean, it was fun watching her because it's hard. I think the hardest job in the whole world is raising kids, and we don't even have a clue, us guys, at all.
No, we
Yeah.
don't. There's a difference between us for a reason. You know, the funniest thing that you're gonna laugh. Everybody on this line will probably laugh. This is a true story. Uh, wow, I don't think we've talked about this.
Cool.
When my son was being born, I was a union iron worker at the time, putting myself through college, and I was like, I'm gonna be that father out there in the waiting room smoking cigarettes as my wife's popping out a baby. I'm talking on the job, with a bunch of other men, how that
Right.
works.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And they're like, and this is during the time my wife was about to give birth in a few months. And this guy, he was sort of a dopey, he liked to do his dope, a lot of dope. I mean, different stuff, and you know how I feel. I mean, I don't care if people do it, but
Right.
it's just never been my thing. Alcohol was my thing, right?
Right. Yeah.
So the funniest part is this dude looked at me and he goes, Chef, what drugs have you done? And I said, well, I tried marijuana once and it put me to sleep. So that's a big negative. And he goes, okay, no, look, no matter what you've experienced in life, there is no high. And he's correct. And I'm going to give you another bit to it that proves this. Than being in the room and seeing your child take his first breath. Okay,
Yeah,
my
I
son's going to
agree,
be
man.
embarrassed because I'm going to tell the story. I watched the doctor, catch him like a catcher. It was funny,
Right,
and
yeah,
pass him
it looks
like
like
a
that.
football behind her back, and give him to a nurse who put him up on the hot table or whatever it's called. I don't know, that little thing with the heat lamp.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden, he was blue, and I'm like trying to shield my wife from seeing this blue thing that maybe he's dead. I thought stillbirth or something. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh shoot! And all of a sudden, he takes that first breath of life, and then peed a little bit and pooped a little bit, and I took a big breath of relief.
Yeah.
And my wife said she felt a sense of purpose, and I felt a sense of wow. It was a high that I can't describe. It is undescribable.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. I'm an adrenaline junkie. You know what I do for a living.
Right. Yeah.
And, moments of sheer boredom, like 99% of the time, and then that less than 1% of the time of sheer terror.
Right. Yeah. That's what you live for.
That's my adrenaline high, but
Right.
it still doesn't match that procreational, I guess.
No, and you know what? You get to relive
Thought
it
process.
too. For
Oh
like,
yeah.
like every
I hope I
time,
do.
like when they're little and they're having it, not when they're screaming and pooping and stuff like that, not so much, but like they're asleep or you put them to sleep, right? You put them to sleep, and then you're holding them and everything, and it's like nothing in the world could take away what just happened to you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You'll remember it forever and ever and ever. When you have grandkids, you get to do it again. Only when they start screaming and pooping, you can go, "Oh, here you go." You know, you know what I mean? Like you get to be there and put them to sleep and all that. But when all the bad stuff happens, you give it back to the mama. Like, there you go. It gets to go home and cry all night over there. But I mean, it's almost the same thing with grandkids. It's great, man.
My wife and I discovered the key to putting my son to sleep, because he would do it with himself. He would scratch his ear and like lift the back part of the lobe up, and he'd be asleep in super seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're holding him and he starts getting cranky, we would just start grabbing his hand, having him move his earlobe up, and he would fall asleep. And then there was a chair that you put a D-cell battery in that vibrated. That would put him to sleep too. It was just a chair he sat in. It was like a lounge chair, actually. It was pretty cool. I wish they had those for adults. But it had this little thing that had a vibrational thing in it. And so his little feet be sticking out, and he'd sit there and be crying, and all of a sudden turn it on, and he was asleep.
My wife would kill me if she heard me tell this, but like the first one that we had, it was like an 11 hours, right? That she was in labor, and she wouldn't let me leave the room.
Right.
Like, I want to go have a smoke, and grab a bite. I mean, 11 hours is a long time. I mean, I know it's a long time for her too, right? But I'd be like telling her, like, I'll be right back. I'm going to go have a smoke and everything. She's like, okay. And it would be when she's not having a contraction, right?
Right.
And I would get down the hall, and then I would hear, "You son of a bitch, it's all your fault. Get your ass over here." And man, she would be chewing me out. So every contraction, I got my ass chewed, and then all of a sudden when it was over, it would be like, But whenever there was a contraction, I was a son of a bitch, man. It was all my fault, the whole thing, man. She just raked me over the coals, I guess. Man, she just let me have it every single time. She did not, it was all my fault, right? But then after the baby was born, it was like all that went away, completely gone. All the road rage, I was calling it, like she was raging.
Raging Against the Machine, baby.
Oh man.
The funniest part,
I think
dude,
the whole floor of that hospital knew who I was and what happened. You know, yeah.
I'll tell you, this you remind me of something. There was a show that used to be on AM radio, G. Gordon Liddy show, and it's very true. I guess this is the way to describe it for females and males both. He said you can see it both with the males, these switches in our brains that all of a sudden they start switching. And then the female, especially, you can see these other switches happening when they get their baby in their hands. Yeah, that's right, Cold Warrior, the G-Man. And when, like with him taking his little, dude, it was only a drop of pee and just a little smear of poop. But I was like, everything's okay. I took a breath. I mean, dude, I probably could have had a heart attack at that moment.
Right.
Thinking that we had a stillbirth. And a devastation I can't even believe. And then all of a sudden, him being handed to my wife, I saw those switches being, but I have to think that that's the easiest definition of those switches getting turned. You're now a parent. You're now a dad. You're now a father. This is your thing, and you better not fuck him up. This is your responsibility.
Yeah.
And you know, he turned out the way he turned out, and that's good. And yeah, that's like I said, that's why I'm glad that everything that on that one foul night that I never did, because that would have been damage to both her and to my son, that I would have been the reason to have caused that. So yeah, I understand. Yeah.
I've been there too, but only they all heard my story already about that. Right. You know, I was a heathen, man. I was bad. I ran everybody away from me. You know, I was just being a bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I probably almost killed like I don't know how many people, and I should have paid for it. I guess I did. You know, right. Actually I did. You know, nobody forgave me for like 6 years. I mean, nobody would be my friend. Even my wife didn't even like me for a while there. It took a long time to win the respect back.
Yes,
you know?
It does.
Yeah, I mean, like they just don't give it back to you as soon as you think it's time. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm better. I don't do. You know, I'm not going to do that ever again. They're like, yeah, right. And you're like, no, really. And then about a year later, you're like, so, you know, you're still being kind of cold whenever, you know, and they're like, yeah, well, you know, you're an asshole. You know, like, what?
Yeah.
I've changed. Like, sure, you know, we'll see about that tomorrow, you know.
Right.
You know, 4 or 5 years later, then finally they're coming around like, you know,
right.
It seems like you're not like the person you used to be, you know, like, wow, when did that hit you? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it took you that long to figure it out? Like, gee, you know, but only that is how it is, you know, but it's too bad.
It's the old adage, respect is not given, it's earned.
That's right, it is.
And with women, it's heavily earned. And if you fuck up heavily once, you're going to hear about it for the rest of your days. So men, suck it up, buttercup. You're going to have to fucking deal with it.
Well, I mean, she'll still remind me of it still. You know, like, and it's been like 30-something years or something now.
And it's okay.
Like, you know, every once in a while, she'll just remind me to put me back into my mindset, you know. Like don't get too haughty. You know, you heathen.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, don't think you're all that in a bag of chips, buddy.
I like to say all that, a bag of chips and a box of Rolos, brother. You know, you remember Rolos? Those
Rolos.
Those little candies. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, You are so correct, brother. This is, you guys, you're getting me and him unfiltered. This is what we normally would talk about all night, and these are the moments I treasure most.
Yeah, it's pretty
Because
fun, huh? You know,
we,
I even forget everybody's in here. I'm just like
I
sitting
do
talking
too. I
about
just
you.
realized it.
Yeah, I mean, I looked down
Again.
and I seen somebody go, ha ha ha. You know, I'm like, what are they ha ha ha? You know?
And then you read back, right?
Yeah, and I'm reading back and I'm reading about Jan's story. Was
Yeah.
it so what did you expect? Puppies, you know, like
Puppies.
that's pretty
My
funny.
wife,
You know.
my wife, before my son was born, had a dream and woke me up. She's like, James, I hate you. I'm like, why? She goes, I'll tell you why. I had a dream and we had a dog and we got a painting of him and my son when my son was like 1. And he was a dachshund. His name was Boo. You know, me and you and a dog named Boo, but it wasn't because of that. A friend of ours had named him and he couldn't keep him. So he had this dog, Boo, a dachshund. And he was a hunting dachshund. He was a good dog.
Cool.
Yeah, he was an awesome dog. And that painting has his collar and everything on it. And the thing that was beautiful about that was her aunt actually took that painting from a picture, which also sits on my gun safe, and right above where that picture's at. So that's the picture the painting's based off of. And the thing about it was, my wife was like, I dreamed I had I dreamed we already had our baby, and I thought it was over. And she said, but the baby, when the doctor gave it to me, was Boo.
Oh.
I had this little dachshund. And so when I saw that, I was trying not to laugh, because you'd have been like, dude, I'm talking about serious stuff now with your wife. And when I saw Jan's post, I really wanted to burst out laughing, because that's exactly what my wife said to me was, I dreamed I had Boo. And it was, and it just made me, I didn't want to be disrespectful, because you were telling a real story, and I had my story I wanted to tell, but Jan, you're not the only one. My wife thought she was having a puppy in a dream while she was pregnant. So it just sort of hit my funny bone. So yeah, I get it. I totally get it. So anyways, yeah. Cold Warrior, traveling and living off the land. Do you want to know about that, or that's Cold Warrior asked? And I'll go into a bit of that, and I'm sure Alan will too, but I just want to know, is that something you guys would be interested in? If not, you know, we don't have to do that. Nobody's got a gun to your head or ours. So.
Well, for me, I gotta go. Really.
Okay.
I'm looking at the timer. It's 3 hours, 37 minutes, and 26 seconds.
Oh shoot!
Man,
We've been going that long?
Yeah.
No, we haven't.
No, not me and you. We've only been going about an hour and a half for me. And
Okay,
you.
cool.
You know,
Cool.
but only I have to bio. You know what I mean?
I know you got things to do, baby.
Well,
it's 12 midnight for you. I'm
my
up
back
till
teeth
3
are
at 7.
floating, you guys.
There you go.
You get it? My back teeth are floating. Yeah. I mean, it's been a long time. I gotta go. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, if you wanted to stay, I could hold the show and just talk and babble. If you want me to, you can mute yourself.
No, let me see. Like, no, I should go.
All right, bro.
Like,
you have a good night.
It must be like, what is it, like 3 a.m. where you're at?
Yeah, it's like 3:07, bro.
Dang, dude, I don't know how you do it. Cause
well, I do it because I don't sleep that much, so.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
You know, but only I got I have to take some meds, and
you got to do your thing.
Like 3 hours,
brother.
3 or 4 hours past the blood pressure meds and stuff like that. Too bad, huh?
I totally get it, brother.
That's the one thing I worry about. Like, if the shit hits the fan, right, and everything gets turned upside down, I probably will be the first one to die. As soon as the meds run out, then I'll be gone. Or else I'll be robbing pharmacies, you know. I'll be doing best, dude. I'll be doing drive-throughs. You know what I mean? Like
drive-through.
Yeah, like drive straight through the wall into the pharmacy. You know, like I'll be making it a drive-through. And I mean, if you want to live bad enough, you'll do a drive-through. You know.
Yeah.
I'll be doing drive-throughs until there ain't no more to drive through. You know.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Well, you guys have a great night. I'm praying for all of you, every single one of you, especially the ones that are having like health problems and stuff like that, but really everyone. And God's made a gift and put us all together, and I love it, and I thank him for it, and I thank him for you guys, man, a lot. So y'all have a really good morning now. Everybody's in the morning, hopefully.
Yeah. It's a new day. It's a new dawn.
Right on.
All right.
All right, man. I love you, brother.
You know that, brother man. All right. God bless.
Okay. God bless.
Bye-bye.